across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile, the home of common sense. This is Talk.
Right, are we all back together? TV, radio, are we all...
Got the fire on.
Together, got the fire on.
Yeah.
Welcome to the last James Whale Unleashed before Christmas.
Starring Ash.
Ash, not necessarily
Still
starring.
a hole in the roof,
But
by the way.
he's here and the snow's coming in. Right, this is... I've got to do this warning, and I've got to do it better today because... as you know, I'm not terribly well, but I've got this... I think I've just picked up a virus or something that you probably gave to me.
Yeah.
So I'm finding it quite difficult tonight. And if I suddenly disappear, it isn't because I've had enough of him, or it might be.
It could be anything,
But
really.
it might just be that I'm not feeling too good. So I apologise about that. But you know when you get really hot and then you get very cold and then you wake and...
Like menopause.
And I have to look at the producer who's having a yawn at the moment, at the beginning of my show. That never happens again.
There's loads of chocolates around.
And yes, well,
Cakes.
chocolates and wine. Thank you very much indeed
Mistletoe and
for
wine.
our presents. Wasn't it lovely to get
Lovely
those
wine.
presents?
You got wine.
Yeah,
lovely.
we
All got loads of wines and chocolates.
Yeah. What did
Beautiful,
what
mate.
did the
That's what
producer
Christmas
get you?
is
What did
about.
the producer get you?
Which producer? We've got loads of them.
Well, no, we only have one.
What, Chuck?
Yeah.
No, he isn't. I'm sure he's got something written.
Yeah.
I got a book, a Lizzie Cundy book last week off him.
Oh, well, you can't complain.
Well, I can.
You can't complain.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know that.
No, okay. Right, so, listen, if you're easily upset, okay, like some of these Wally programmes that call themselves, what is that station says, we are the voice of the nation.
Is there?
But it's run by 12 and 12-and-a-half-year-olds and they keep sacking their... It's just ridiculous. This is the voice of the world, okay? So anything you want to say, you can come on, put the number on the screen, there it is. And for those on the radio, you can call us on this number, 0344 499 1000. The migrant mess, you might want to talk about Sharia. Britain could become the Sharia capital of
Apparently
Europe.
we are number one, which is great. Is it great news?
The Stormer scandal, BBC pressured now not to play Freezing this Christmas, so we'll play a bit of that later.
Which was exclusive on this show, and everyone else has ran with it.
Yep. And I'm glad they have too, because they're raising a lot of money for Age Concern. Long Hoyle, I think it's Lloyd Hoyle.
Lindsay Hoyle.
Lindsay Hoyle, yeah. Not
£250,000
Oh, is it a
on
gag?
flights.
That's so funny. Hurt myself
And
laughing.
this is the man that gagged Parliament, and then the man that said, "Oh, we better not do it because there's a big crowd out there, so we better vote this way."
Yeah.
At least he's better than the last one, but still, that's not saying much.
House of Commons Speaker backs up £250,000 bill for jet setting around. He can give that back. Musk backs reform. Good. Billionaire ready to bankroll Farage with a large donation. We're going to talk to Ben Habib in a moment.
And Mandelson now going to be ambassador. Can you believe that?
It's just stupid. I mean, they're not
And he calls him a
capable.
white supremacist.
They're not capable. Well, we got that little clip. I want to play it later. With Mandelson being rude about
Calling Trump. And
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump's campaign has already called him a moron.
Yeah.
So it's not good to him. I mean, he's pro-EU. I think he's there to troll Trump because Keir Starmer's cozying up to the EU.
Also, I want to get this out. If you're easily upset, offended, don't watch or listen.
Yeah.
Because then you've got to ring and write to Ofcom.
Just right. If you've got a problem,
And
tell us. We'll deal with it. Don't
it's
grass
funny.
on us.
Never in my entire 50 years of doing this, I don't think I've ever had a letter from Ofcom or what were the equivalent of Ofcoms before saying, we had somebody writing and just wanted us to tell you what a brilliant show you do.
No, and they're flooded with those ones because I test it out and they never get those to us.
Well, Lady W, yesterday, we had a little problem. Her battery was flat. No, in her car. Her battery was flat. She rang the RAC. They came out and did it.
Knights of the road.
Yeah, also did it quickly, efficiently, and she didn't have to pay because she had battery cover on her insurance. She didn't even know that, but they told her. So Trustpilot, who one of those companies who think if they give you a little logo, you're going to use the company more often, and I presume the company pay them to do it. Well, she sent in a little thing saying, can I just say that the RSC engineer, whatever, mechanic, came, fixed my car, very polite, very quick, and it was some of the best service I've ever had. Thank you, RCA. And
RAC. RCA is a record company from back in the
Tumours. So
they were good as well.
She got a letter from Trustpilot saying, we're very sorry, but we think this is a hoax and we don't believe a word of it.
Distrust Pilot.
She got very cross, rang them back, and they said, very snooty, said, well, send us evidence. Well, she's not going to, you know, she just wanted to say, great service from the RAC, thank you very much indeed, and it was Trustpilot who wanted it. So I will never have anything to do with that organisation.
They must have thought the RAC were doing it themselves. How dare they suspect that of the Royal Automobile Club?
Right. Let's join our friend now, Ben Habib, a former MEP, former MEP, but possibly an MP in the future, who knows? Ben, good evening.
Good evening.
Ben.
How do you think things are going since we last spoke then?
Well, do you mean politically, geopolitically?
Well, Starmer is very satisfied with the first 6 months. He says, what's wrong?
Yeah, I mean, this man doesn't have any political knowledge at all, or does he?
No. He's
So, I mean, you know, if you're looking at it from the United Kingdom's perspective, he's a disaster.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from his perspective, he's got everything he wants in the first 6 months, hasn't he? He's absolutely driven his agenda. And he may be unpopular, but he's rewarded the unions. He's punished the elderly.
He paid the unions back, didn't he, basically?
He paid the unions back for the campaign funding that he got from them.
Yeah.
He's punished the elderly by removing the winter fuel allowance. He's turned his back on the WASPs. He's expanded his net zero agenda. He's done everything he wants. The farmers, he's attacked. You know, the farmers,
but
it's interesting.
Why does he think this is going to do him any good? What is in it for? I don't understand what he thinks is in it for him in the long run.
I think what he's driven by is an ideology which is supreme to all the interests of the United Kingdom. He wants to drive his ideology through, and it doesn't matter if we suffer. That's why he's done it in such a hurry in the first 6 months, because he can just get it done. And then he hopes that by the time we get round to 2029, we've all forgotten the horrendous things he's visited on the nation. I think that's basically his plan.
Well, then it's not going to work. People like that ought not to be allowed to get into positions of power. We need to change the whole legal system. I mean, but there are other things that... Why would you appoint, as the ambassador to America, the one man who probably hasn't he?
He called him a white supremacist. Yeah, he met Epstein after he got charged. What is sort of guy?
Racist nationalist.
Yeah.
That's what he called
that's what he called Trump. So why is he going to be the ambassador? Can't the Americans actually turn him down? I mean, they were thinking of Sadiq Khan banning him from entering America.
I mean, well, it's too much. It really is too much to be allowed to carry on, isn't it?
It's very hard for the Labour Party to find anyone who hasn't said something nasty about President Trump, because the ideologies are absolutely polar opposites, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, Keir Starmer...
Is Blair working in the background still? Is that why Mandelson's in there?
I think Blair's been in the background of the Labour Party ever since 1995 or whenever it was he took over as leader.
Yeah,
well,
95, I suppose 95.
Yeah, when he became leader of
John
the
Smith
Labour
died,
Absolutely.
Didn't Mandelson send us a bottle of champagne once?
Yeah, Uffy did his spad.
Yeah. Anyway, less said about that, the better. We are apparently now the #1 capital in Europe for Sharia law.
Yeah. Is that a good thing?
I think we're the #1 country in the West for Sharia law, and we're allowing practices of Sharia law which actually many Muslim countries have banned.
Yeah.
And it's because we've taken the view in this country that as long as Sharia law doesn't directly oppose British law, we will allow its practice. And
well, so if I said I was a Muslim and I've been accused of, I don't know, driving too fast or whatever, could I then say I'd like to be tried under Sharia court?
No, on that you can't.
Good.
Where it's a conflict between Sharia law and British law, rides supreme. But it's mostly in family law where it's a bit nebulous about, which law is applicable. So, for example, if you want to marry 4 wives, which you're allowed to do under Islam, in the UK, we simply won't recognise the marriages. And because we haven't recognised the marriages in the first place, we allow the divorce procedures that are compliant with Sharia law to take place, and we turn a blind eye to it.
Why don't we tell them to get out of the country? Why don't we turn round and say, this is not the culture of the United Kingdom. If you want to live under these ridiculous religious laws, and I'm sure if this carries on, the fanatical Christians will have some things they want to bring in. They'll probably want to make homosexuality illegal and various other things. But why do we allow religious sects, whether it's Christianity, Islam or any of the others, to have all this power?
Well, they've got 5 seats in Parliament, including the one with Jeremy Corbyn now at the moment.
I mean, that, James, is the pertinent question, is why do we allow so many different cultural silos to exist alongside effectively British culture? And I think it comes down to this. We are hijacked by a form of extreme liberalism where we think that everyone should be entitled to do and practice whatever it is they believe in, irrespective of whether or not it conflicts with British settled culture. It's everyone's right to be that which they wish to be. And what we've forgotten is the importance of an integrated culture. So it's not so much about being against Islam, it's about not being pro-British culture. And what we've got to get used to is, the agenda we've got to drive is, fine, you come to our country, great, you're welcome. But you've got to adopt our values. You've got to adopt our culture. You've got to adopt effectively.
But we're losing our culture, and we tolerate intolerance. They've got 5 seats. In 20, 30 years, they might have 200 seats.
But Christianity
it could change,
was as bad 500 years ago. Some might say worse. And we have advanced. Islam doesn't seem to be doing it.
Blasphemy's coming back, isn't it?
They seem to think that they can dictate, the men of Islam, dictate to women. They can tell them what they can wear, when they can go out, where they can go out. And this is not the culture of a modern 21st century country. But nobody is going to speak up against it because people will say, oh, you're a racist. Well, I'm not a racist, and you can call me a racist.
Islamophobic.
Exactly.
But there's people who want to bring in, the proper Sharia law, where you have executions and there are people, we've had them on the show, and, eventually they're getting more and more power. It hopefully won't happen, but as they get more seats and they push for more political influence, they're going to get nearer.
Yeah, so, I mean, British democracy is a very subtle, gentle ecosystem. It's evolved over hundreds of years. It's very vulnerable because it's all welcoming. It's a very mature form of, governance. And Islam, I think the root issue, the root difference between Islam and the way we would wish to govern ourselves, or the way we did govern ourselves, is that the Quran is basically the word of God dictated to the Prophet Muhammad through the angel Gabriel. And if it's
you
the
believe
word of
that
God,
sort of thing, and a lot of people don't.
But that is Islam. And so the Quran is perfect because it's the word of God. Therefore, it doesn't have any truck with being challenged. It is the settled word of God. It is perfect. You can't improve on it. And that is, I think, the essential fundamental problem. And it is fundamentalist Islam, by the way. There are lots of different forms of Islam.
But the youth are taking that up, the Henry Jackson Society. It's not the people our age. The younger people are getting actually more religious and more, is extremist in their views, which is strange, isn't it?
Fundamentalist. I would draw a distinction between extremism and fundamentalism. We tend to talk about Islam in the context of extremism. Actually, before you get to extremism, it's fundamentalism that we need to be concerned about, because it's through being fundamentalist, an inability to evolve, an inability to be tolerant of others, that comes the extremism. Extremism is what you get after fundamentalism has established itself. And what we're not in this country anymore, thank goodness, is fundamentalist in any shape or form. Christianity has taken a back seat to governance. It's allowed the democratic process to proceed. It's removed itself from government, and it allows us to do that which we wish to do, or what we need to do, in order to have a prosperous society. And Islam hasn't quite got there yet.
Well, it's filling the vacuum that's been left, because now we're bringing in blasphemy law. Well, we already have them in the back door. If you ask the teacher in Batley, he's got to hide for the rest of his life, or Salman Rushdie, you know, it's coming back.
We had that MP, didn't we, Tahir Ali, standing up in Parliament saying that he wanted to bring in effectively the protection of the Abrahamic religions, but by which what he meant was effectively bring in blasphemy law to protect Islam. And we mustn't allow that. Any ideology, whether it's Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Shia Islam, Sunni Islam, whatever it is, everything needs to be up for debate in this country. The greatness of this country has come through a broad-minded preparedness to debate anything. And the minute you try and shut that debate down, which is what, you know, effectively happens if you're a fundamentalist.
Well, we don't have freedom of speech in this country. We don't have open debate.
No,
people can't say stuff.
We're finding out.
And that's where extreme liberalism goes, because extreme liberalism won't allow debate because it already it believes that it's got the settled correct result. And if you challenge extreme liberalism, which is why we, you know, tolerate all these different cultures in our country, you are effectively challenging the right of people to be what they wish to be. And so you have to shut down that debate in order to propagate that agenda.
Yeah, they say it's disinformation or racism.
To finish this up on the most serious point of this time of year, Ben, we had him on the programme the other night, and now everybody is talking to this guy who's released a record. It's become #1 all over the place.
He's brilliant.
It's called Freezing This Christmas. And let's have a quick look before we finish this. This is a clip. There we are, #1 in the... I take it back, it's working. I'm just shouting at... but I take it back.
Fumbling fingers.
I've got shaky hands. That's #1 in the iTunes chart, but the thing is, the BBC are refusing to play it.
Yeah, I mean, that song sums up basically the governance of this Labour, you know, party. They've turned their back on the British people. They've turned their back on the elderly in this country, and they've got their ideology. 11 billion going abroad for foreign climate change projects, 500 million being cut from our defence budget while we're firing Storm Shadow missiles into Russia, provoking perhaps, you know, a third world war through our actions. You know, we've got this complete disconnect between those who govern us and the people about what it is that they are obliged to.
And the media have been captured. You know, they're political activists for Keir Starmer, the BBC, and Sky News, and a lot of
they are. Absolutely. They're completely captured by the narrative.
What do you think?
We've got to push back against it.
What do you think about this as well, before we go slightly over? Long Hoyle break. That we're talking about the Speaker of the House. It's a pun. I didn't get it. He's racked up £250,000 for jet setting around over the last year.
Not economy.
How can that be allowed?
Well, it shouldn't be. And I mean, the issue that I've got with Lindsay Hoyle is that he's an activist Speaker of the House, and he's meant to be neutral. So, for example, you know, he got up and he shut down debate about Southport and the riots, and you know what
he got rid of privilege of the privilege in the House of Commons.
He didn't.
Well, he's used a 2017 law that had been brought in. They never had that before, and he stopped a vote because there was a mob outside.
And actually, absolutely. And what parliamentarians should do is actually ignore Lindsay Hoyle and say, no, there are legitimate questions about Southport, for example, which have no bearing on the case that's going through the courts at the moment, and which we, the people of the United Kingdom, need to know. So, for example, when was it that Keir Starmer and Yvette Cooper and Merseyside Police discovered that this guy was a second-generation Rwandan? When did they discover that this guy was actually in possession of Al-Qaeda workbooks, that he was in possession of ricin? These are not questions that have a bearing on the case. These are questions that go to the integrity of the heart of our government. And Lindsay Hoyle has shut down that debate. And a brave parliamentarian should be getting up now in the Commons and challenging the Prime Minister to explain what it is he knew and when did he know it, and why weren't the British people made aware of it? Why was he allowed to castigate everyone who was protesting as being far right, directing the criminal justice system against them, and having no debate on the subject? And that's where our Parliament has gone fundamentally wrong on that issue and many others of a similar nature.
Loads and loads of others. Ben, it's always good to talk. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks,
Compliments of the season. Happy Christmas.
Happy
ho, ho, ho. Christmas to me is the time of giving and receiving, the time of Father Christmas.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing is that station I was talking about, they're having little religious messages. They're calling it I forgot what they're calling it, where you open one every day up to Christmas.
Oh, a thingamajig thing.
A thingamajig, yeah.
Advent calendar
of vicars and things coming out and saying stupid, ridiculous. Absolutely appalling. Absolutely appalling. Right,
got a frog in your throat, haven't you?
I'm not feeling
open with some of your cards.
Yeah, do you want a card opened? I think we'll open a card, yeah. What have you got? We don't do Christmas cards, and I made a point of saying don't send any
we check if there's money in them, though.
Oh, hang on, this is interesting.
I am the way, the truth of life. So, one of them's got to be right.
You can.
That's from SC. Hi, SC. Thanks, man. Another
Don't
one here.
send
James
those sort of
Rails
cards to me. What is this? Is this?
Remember, you were baptised.
Merry
Christmas. They can take it back if
Merry Christmas.
You're a naughty boy.
I can't open this. Can you open it for me?
Joy.
Yeah.
Joy.
Who's
that from? Who's that one from?
Can you open it for me?
Look at that. Look at that. It's a decoration for your tree.
Going to explode.
You can put that on.
I was going to explode.
Love from Etta from Scotland, that one. And
Ella.
this one.
Ella from
This
Scotland.
is from Arthur Hunter.
Yeah, okay.
In Taiwan.
Yeah. Hello, Arthur. Thank you very much.
What are you doing in Taiwan?
We're known all over the world. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
We've got our producer sitting in the corner giving us a wind-up.
Yeah, man.
We're giving him a wind-up as well. James, I wonder if you could do me a favour.
We've done a short movie at Virtual Ash at the James Brown. You want to see our short movie that we did earlier to celebrate the show?
I'll hand this to one of our technical operators. Who was it?
We only got one of them.
Yeah. Dulcie Ford.
Nice
who
one.
Who can't
Dolphin.
understand. And could you sign some photos? I don't have any
really
photos.
do those anymore.
They don't pay
That's
it.
sort of back in the 70s.
Give any photos.
You got a bumper
away,
sticker?
Dulcie, I'll blow you a kiss. Take a break.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile, the home of common sense. This is Talk.
Right, welcome back. Next part of the show. Don't forget if you want to come on the air. We will do it in a minute, but first we're going to talk about something else. Conservative MP seeks ban on cousin marriages, and later in the show we're going to talk about Sharia law. Apparently we are becoming one of the biggest Sharia law capitals
outside normal Sharia law places.
Yeah. Conservative MP Richard Holden's called for a ban on first cousin marriages in the UK. Holden has argued that children of first cousins face higher risk of all kinds of problems, and it's been known for years that this is the case. But our friend, well, not really, he's a bit of a nutter, but he quite happily to come in. I'm amazed you came in when I thought you weren't going to. Charles Amos, who, Charles, good evening. When you came in and defended cutting the winter fuel allowance, which got you very unpopular press. Did you not learn by that?
I don't think the fact that something is unpopular means it's wrong.
Well, that's very good. What, bus passes?
He wants to take the elderly's bus passes off them.
Yeah.
That's the case.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't think you'll ever get to a position
and
of
the
authority.
Workhouse. You want the workhouse back.
He'd like the workhouse
So there
back.
is one good point you made.
You're quite happy with marrying your cousin, your first cousin. You think that's up to the individual. Why?
Individuals should be free to pursue their own good in their own way, and that includes to marry and have children with whoever they like.
No,
If we're going to hear me out,
that is the beginning of the end. Go on, you can try and defend it, but that is not
if we're going
happening.
to accept that individuals over 40 can have children, despite the fact that they
they shouldn't?
Despite the fact that they have the children with the same risk of having birth rates as those that are cousin marriages, then we've got to allow cousin marriages too. Because if you were going to ban cousin marriages on the basis that these birth rates are too high, then you'd have to ban over 40s from reproducing too.
Well,
I don't think we should ban over 40s from reproducing.
Maybe
so by parity of reasoning, I don't think cousin marriage should be banned.
I was a young father, a teenager, and when I look back, I think, I had all the energy to bring up kids, probably didn't do it as well as I could do it now. But the fact is, it's something that you want young, fit people doing.
Although older parents have more balanced children, I think, because they've lived more life, so there's benefit with swings and roundabouts.
I don't agree.
I'm willing to accept that perhaps it's the case that children are better brought up by younger parents, but I still don't think that means that we should ban older parents from reproducing, or older people from reproducing.
What about... I mean, you don't want to see anything banned, really, do you? But what about the birth defects that are quite
with cousin marriages, it's much more common even in older couples. That's quite prevalent.
So the percentage of birth defects to cousin marriages are 6% amongst Pakistani mothers, according to a Bradford study of 11,500
The
children.
study hasn't been carried out. It was 11,500 children, and as far as I'm concerned, that's not a big enough.
Well, that's 6 in 100, That's 6 in 100 have defect birth.
Absolutely, but if you look at the over 40 rate, or rather the over 34 rate, it's 4%. So it's reasonable to think that the over 40 rate would perhaps be 6% and above. So if we're going to allow over 40s to reproduce, and I think everybody accepts that, then we've got to allow cousins to reproduce as well.
Well, we haven't at all, and in my world, it won't happen.
If we're going to
operate
with a coherent set of ethics, then we've got to allow both or neither. You can't have one or the other.
You can. You're not going to do it.
It's probably more than 6%.
And actually, there is a problem at the moment that younger people are not having enough children because society's in a bad state, and we need to encourage younger people to actually be able to have children. Otherwise, we're going to be... Well, there'll be none of us left.
But no, we don't really need kids. We've got robots now that they're good enough.
Well, one of the ways to deal with the declining fertility rate, and it's supposed to be something like 1.4 by 2100, is to build more houses, to lower housing prices from 8 times average income today back to the historical average of 4 times average income. I'd fully support liberalising the housing market to deal with that problem that you speak of.
That's because of the banks, isn't it? And
but
the rich getting richer.
You won't do that because back in the day, governments encouraged people, rather than spending their money to buy the most expensive house they could, as part of supporting them in old age. And if the house prices take a crash, there'll be a lot of people who want a lot more than the winter allowance. So you can't work it out. I mean, you seem to think everything is really simple.
No.
You're only 24, Charles.
I'm 25.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Charles.
I'm willing to accept that if you tanked the housing market by building a load more houses, then people that rely on the house's income would be worse off. And I would say that's unfortunate for them, but so be it, basically.
Now it's really cold. Now the cold is kicking in, I want to give you the chance to go back a little bit on what you were saying about old people not really needing the winter fuel allowance. I mean, we can see that they do. A lot of them don't know how they can apply, a lot of the older generation, how they apply for things that they might be entitled to, and a lot of them are entitled to a lot more than they're getting. So do you not think you should go back and say perhaps the winter fuel allowance, particularly with the way the weather is going at the moment, should be reintroduced?
Not at all. If you look at the bottom quintile of pensioners, you'll find they spend 17% of their income on restaurants and hotels, recreation and culture,
I should bloody
smoking,
well hope so when you work.
It's like it's talking about you, isn't it?
£2,100. All they would have to do to make up the reduction in the winter fuel allowance, or its elimination rather, is to cut their leisure expenditure by 10%. And I've said that about 4 times on this show.
You know, you'll get thrown out by your ear in a moment because I'm getting really bloody cross. Look, I'm 75 nearly. I'm old. I've worked most of my life. In fact, I've worked it all. Some of the time I've had to put up with him. And I don't need prats like you coming in here at the age you are and saying, oh, well, you know, because when you get to the end of your life, you would like to enjoy it. You don't want to be sitting there worrying where the next...
Yeah, people on 11 grand, they don't get it. I mean, he might be all right, but there's some pensioners on 11 grand who've been told they can't have it.
Those pensioners that are on 11 grand typically then receive housing benefit, which majorly tops up their gross income.
They don't have much to spend. They don't have much of a life, trust me. I've met many.
17% of their spending is on leisure. If you look at the average pensioner...
Why on earth shouldn't they?
Let me explain once again. If you look at the average pensioner, you'll find they have taken £1.20 out of the welfare state for every £1 that they have paid in. So the average pensioner cannot say, I'm entitled to this income because I've paid in all of my life. It's like, no, you're entitled to 5/6 of it, and that's it.
You are
5/6 of it, and that's it.
What are you doing this for? You're doing it basically to try and make yourself famous, and I rue the day that I actually...
No, I will not have that.
I invited you back.
4,500 people will die, it was calculated by the Labour Party.
Beliefs, because I have studied philosophy and political theory, and I believe
Labour's own figures
are the right
When Labour were in opposition, they told the Tories, if you get rid of that benefit, 4,500 will die. And that now they're in power, they've stopped it. So that's 40 a day. That's 40 tonight will die because of the Labour government, and you're happy that that's going to go.
Are you giving them any money?
Well, I would do if the government did. Yes, I would. I want them to get the winter fuel allowance, which is me giving them money.
You don't really care that much about those 4,000 people.
Take the break.
Dare you?
We'll go.
Here's
and you're
the
never
door.
coming back. Take a break.
Open the door.
You know, you talk absolute
security.
bollocks. You really do. And I'm...
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile. The home of common sense. This is Talk.
Welcome back. Thank you very much indeed. Our last programme before Christmas. Sorry about that. I just lost it. I cannot understand why. He wants to be famous. I understand that. He wants to make a name for himself. He wants to be in the media.
He looks like George Roper.
Commentator.
He doesn't remember that.
I am just sick and bloody tired of being told, oh, well, it's all right for you. You know, me and Pete...
And then he says things like quintiles, and we don't even know what he means.
I'm not a millionaire. I wish I was.
You just spent it all on coats and alcohol.
Well, yeah. But
could be an album, couldn't it?
The fact is that I have contributed, like anyone, not you, but like most people who pay tax, to everything. Now I'm
now
paying
you want your piece of the pie.
For Lindsay Hoyle to spend 250 grand on air traffic.
And he's going to amazing... These aren't horrible...
For our country...
He's going to desert islands and stuff like that.
Shut up a minute. Our country... to give the Syrian rebels 500 million to sort of help them prop up their doing.
Chop up people's heads.
When there is another bunch now, looks like they're going to have a fight and it's all going to go back to a very bloodthirsty area in Syria.
Yeah.
And, you know, we give in now to people too easily.
As soon as they took over Syria, Lamy recognised them. These were the ISIS people who cut the archaeologist's head off at Palmyra and destroyed it. They're now back at Palmyra. They're subjugating the Christians. But, well, yeah, they give them 50 million quid.
David Lammy, the front bench, two-tier. I am sorry. Any of you want to come on the show, by the way, have your right of reply. You are more than welcome.
And where's the Tory opposition as well? It's reform of the opposition.
They're useless.
Very disappointing, Badenoch.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Very disappointing. Yeah, very.
We thought she was going to be like, you know, Thatcher, and it was all bluster.
Can I just say hi and best wishes to St David's Hospice in North Wales. They send you and me and Chuck, all the team working on the programme, a very happy Christmas. They say festive time and a healthy and peaceful 2025.
Read that out. It says Nadolig,
Don't take the mick out of Welsh language.
I love it up North Wales. Lake Ballard. Have you ever been up there? Lake Ballard.
He's taking the piss.
No, I love
getting
it up
annoyed.
It's beautiful.
Right. Let's see. Where shall we go? Let's go to Manchester. You be quiet for a bit.
Carol.
Hi.
Oh, hi, James. Loving it. And that last person, his name is 0S. That's all it is. It's absolutely disgraceful. You know, like shameful. You know, like with it. You know, like, and his mother, I bet she'll beat him up right when he goes back home. That's all I can say.
I don't think she will, but he told me he's training to be an accountant anyway.
He looks like one.
You know, like with it. But no, seriously, yeah, we're in a mess, aren't we? We are in a mess.
Say that again.
Very, very, very bad.
So go on, give me one clue as to what we can do to sort it out. We need another election,
Come on, you
really.
can't just moan. You've got to have an idea.
I know we can't. I want another election, but we can't have it because we have to
No,
stick.
you're right.
We have to stick because we can't go back on that. We have these rules and we can't go
Well, they went back on all their promises.
Well, exactly. They went back on their promises and we have to live with that. That's what you have to do.
Why should you? I mean, when
come.
Reform did a contract, which I quite like that idea, there should be... But they just lied to people, got them to vote, and now there were turkeys voting for Christmas, the farmers, the pensioners, the waspy women.
Yeah. Oh, I can give you a list. Believe me, I will never vote these prats ever again. And so I've not done for years. But I swear to God, I mean, I literally listen to politics and that. And unfortunate people do go with the flow. And, you know, it's not their fault. It's not... Maybe we need education. Maybe we need... But anyway, forget that because that ain't going to help us.
Well, listen, Carol, next time there's an election, whatever it happens, you must vote. Everybody must vote.
I've always voted, and the only year that I didn't vote this year... I voted very proudly. My granddad took me to vote. Very proud Labour man, right? At 18 years of age, he had his shirt, he had his tie on and everything. And we had to vote.
All right.
It was a beautiful story.
Why you did that, I've no idea. But if you don't frigging listen to what I'm saying, and the emphasis in my voice when I want to move on. I will come out there
ruined the
and
show.
give you a good
We'll try
thrashing.
and rescue it now. Yeah.
And you can tell HR to do one. I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
I'm really not bothered.
Yeah. Tell them that.
You know, they don't.
No respect.
They all.
They think everything their way. Generation, whatever.
We do this
called.
programme. Very few people. Each one has a... And just give him a smack round their head, Chuck. Why can't you do what you used to do?
Just use the flat of your hand. Oh.
I'll have the guests on when I want to have them on, not when they're ready to have them on. Honestly, I'm getting really angry about this now. Right, apparently Robbie Hayes, you there, Robbie?
I am, yes. Hi,
Apparently
James.
you can't be on the programme if I don't go to you now because you've got to go back to work.
Yes, landlord's work is never done.
I was brought up in a pub. I know all about landlords, but you have presumably staff, don't you?
We do, but with what's going on in this furor, we're busier than normal, so
well,
a little
lucky
good.
you.
So it's been good publicity for your pub then?
Do you know what it actually has? Yeah, we've got. I mean, it's quite a small village. It's a local pub, but the people that have been coming in during the week, I haven't seen them at all, and they've come from neighbouring villages to lend support. And it's
This
been great,
the Saracen's
really.
Head. It's been in the news because a convicted terrorist is suing the pub. Why is he offended by an actual fact of a name? It's not offensive, is it?
No.
I have no idea. When he was probed further about it, he said it was the actual word head that offended him.
What did you get? Did you there's the
That's even less
nutcase
offensive,
on the
the
screen
word
for
head.
those watching on TV. Did you actually get a letter from this idiot or not?
I did. I came back from holiday. I was going through some mail, and I had a letter that started off with the wording along the lines of that I was named in a monetary writ. I first of all thought it was a joke, but it had HM Courts and Tribunals stamp on the actual letter. Then I proceeded to read through it, and it kind of went something like, I, Mr. Bakar, was walking down this particular road I'm standing on the 27th of October and was offended, shocked, scared of the sign there in your picture. And then it went on to list demands. He wanted, I think, £400 for it being racist, £400 for being xenophobic, £500, I can't remember something I can't even pronounce,
this man,
and a couple of hundred for himself.
Yeah, this man with a ridiculous beard needs to be put back in jail. He was jailed for 4 years. How can he was jailed for 4 years, Khalid Bakar, for terrorists? He was convicted Islamic
giving
terrorist.
out leaflets,
And he wants to sue you for having a pub called the Saracen's
I think he's
Head.
misunderstanding because we have the king's head, the bull's head. I think he thinks it means a decapitated head, which it doesn't.
I think he's stupid, ignorant,
that's
and I also think that the people who are actually encouraging him and sending these letters are not fit for purpose. Have I made myself
It shouldn't be
clear?
going to court. Do the court have to accept any writ if it's written in? Is that the reason? Because surely it'll get thrown out anyway.
From what I believe, this is the new modern equivalent of a small claims court. So he's actually just gone online on the internet, pressed some buttons, paid a fee, and fired this letter off to me.
Okay.
I question he's ever actually been in this town.
What's it called?
But you've benefited
Just a
from
minute,
it, so it's brilliant, actually.
What's it called again, this organisation you can click on?
The small claims court. You can do it online.
Yeah,
you can do it online.
HM Courts and Tribunals.
HM Courts.
Yeah, you can sue anyone for anything.
Well, I'm going to sue him for annoying me and giving me high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Because, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's more than welcome to come on the programme. You make the most out of it, OK, Robbie? You make as much money as you can.
Yeah.
We will. Thank you so much.
Get a little extension this evening. See you again. Thanks, Robbie. Robbie Hayes, pub landlord of the Saracen's Head.
Yeah.
So sorry if it triggers somebody, then sue. I mean, why on earth would the small claims court or whatever they call it now allow somebody to
I think
abuse
if you go online, you can pay 30-odd quid and it just goes. But I think it'll get thrown out, won't it? They'll laugh.
Well, I hope it will because, this is just ridiculous. And this guy, he was in prison for just 4 years
That's a long, it's serious offence. Serious, man.
Ricky in...
Ricky in Blandford.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Hello, Jamesy. Right, because of obviously the delay, we've moved on. So going back to the winter allowance, and I just want to tell you, it's just a little bit of advice for your viewers, James, if that's okay.
Yep, go on.
Is that okay?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So an uncle of mine died 3 years ago and left my mother's older sister on her own. Okay, so she lived for 26 years in South Africa and didn't pay her national insurance contributions for that amount of time. So when my uncle died, that she was on about £460 pension. Now, what you have to do, because she was 86, I understand that an 86-year-old will not understand about phones or internet and everything else. If they've got offspring or anybody else, please go in there, put the national insurance in, the number and everything else, right, okay, and you will, unbelievable, you will, okay, there's a very good chance if you apply for pension credit. Now, I had a pension topped up from 462 to 800 purely because she was on her own, had no husband anymore, and they topped it up automatically. And just one more thing, James, that because she's on pension credit, I don't know if you know, you probably don't, that when the Labour obviously came in and changed everything, everybody on pension credit will get the winter allowance, and she did because she's on pension credit. So
there are an enormous... I think everybody is aware of that, Rick. A lot of people are now applying for pension credit more than ever before. But an enormous amount of people don't realise that they can do that. And I think it is up to the government that should be sending notes out to every household and explaining to them...
They don't want to tell them, like the waspy women.
How they can do it, I still think it is an appalling thing to do. Rick, thank you for that. I think the government... They're not a government, are they, really?
Did you understand?
James, you and Ash, why are you not talking about the disgusting atrocity that has taken place at a Christmas market in Germany?
We don't know enough yet. It's early. There has been a car...
I thought you were better than that. I'm retuning. You're retuning to that children's...
We don't know what's... we know cars ploughed through a German Christmas market. And we're finding out the latest news. But you'll hear at the news the latest, but it's all fresh news. But, yeah, a 4x4 has crashed through a German market through a crowd of people.
I'm glad we've lost that viewer and listener. I don't want idiots like that watching or listening to my show.
Yeah,
with you.
But there's been people killed and very seriously injured.
When we find out the true facts, we'll talk about it. It's like last week. People wanted to talk about the burning down of the Christmas tree in Trafalgar Square.
Really?
Which was hot news online.
I didn't hear about that.
Well, it didn't happen. Oh. That's right.
You see?
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile, the home of common sense. This is Talk.
Welcome back. Right, loads of people here.
We've got the answer machine on, by the way.
Have we?
The same 03444 99 1000 WhatsApp voice message. It goes through to our Panasonic answer machine.
The only problem I have with that is I can't reply.
No, but that's why they do it on that.
Loads and loads of texts and X's. James, I hope the 70s throwback, the vile idiot Charles Amos, doesn't reproduce at any age.
Hi to Carnivale Catherine.
Hi, what?
Carnivale Catherine.
What's that?
She loves me.
I love you, Ash. Yeah. Well, we don't read stuff like that out. That's
I didn't read it out. I was just saying, don't read it out.
Yeah.
Charles Humbug.
James, fool with you is ignorant. Incest marriage's reason it always has been frowned upon is if continued results.
Sterility.
Yeah. Elimination of
Well,
race.
it gets worse. There's more generations of first cousins. It gets even more concentrated, and you end up with some families in the American mountains, with the banjo and stuff. Yeah. But they're good banjo players, though.
For someone who seems to hate older people so much, I wonder why Charles dresses like them. Shit. I thought I was saying I was an ignorant, arrogant prat. No, that's again poor old.
He's got a good style.
The right to take that idiot down, apparently, Sophie says. Well, he was very rude when you've worked a long, long time, all of you. Lynn in Bolton. Lynn, good evening.
James.
Lynn.
Good evening, James.
Lynn, what can we do for you?
Lynn.
I want to tell you, I'm a 75-year-old. I've got Parkinson's, and I'm going to go to Keir Starmer's door, knock on his door with my begging bowl and ask him for some money.
Why would you do that? You won't get anywhere near.
You need to go to Lord Alice.
You wouldn't get anywhere near the Prime Minister, so I wouldn't put yourself out that much if I were you, Lynn.
No.
He won't give you anything.
I really want to swear about him, but I know I can't.
The dictator.
Who is that? Your husband?
I hope so.
Yeah, yes.
Did you vote in the election?
Yes.
For Starmer?
Not for Labour, though. No way.
Oh, OK. I think as long as people vote in the elections, we can get probably... It's such a small percentage of people who voted in the election, but they were... a lot of people mixed up about who they should
Only
be
1 in
voting
5
for.
voted for actually the government we've ended up with.
The Tories have let us down. The Tories have really let us down.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Kemi Badenoch in one Prime Minister's
Just talking about sandwiches. I mean, what's that all about?
Talking...
And saying there's no two-tier system. What sort of...
What's the name of your husband, Lynn?
Alan.
Alan. Hi, Alan and Lynn. Nice to have you listening. Thank you for calling in.
Have you not got your heating on, Lynn? Can you not afford to put...
Let me tell you. My husband was in the army for 20-odd years.
Yeah.
We got immigrants coming over here, living in hotels, everything paid for them.
I know.
Have you got your heating on at the moment, or can you not afford it?
No, I haven't.
So you're freezing in your house, you and Alan?
I'm not freezing. I've got jumpers.
You've got jumpers on.
All right.
But you know what?
I do.
People living on the street, and the government don't give a shit about them.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And it's just unbelievable what this government is doing.
Darling, we're trying to keep this in the public psyche. The politicians will try and shut us down and stop us talking about things like this.
And a lot of the media join them.
A lot of the media,
like the BBC.
And some other companies that started off not long ago, spending their time, wasting their time, having this advent calendar of vicars, the most appalling and appalling thing I've ever seen. Lynn, thank you for that. Karen is in Bournemouth. Karen, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right, Karen. What can we do for you?
Well, I'm just thinking that Starmer is a bit of a dictator. And what he's done is he's actually got control of everybody in his party. He's letting them make the gas, as you would call it. But he's completely on the other side.
And he's shut down democracy with the council elections, and he's getting us back into Europe.
Hang on just a minute, Karen. How is he dictating? I mean, he's been democratically elected.
He's shut down the council elections, hasn't he?
But he's shutting down council elections. Rezoning. I mean, we've just had one big rezoning.
He's ignoring the referendum, driving roughshod over what the majority want.
Yeah, but you see, he's China's puppet, and China's decided that Iran can have England.
Yeah.
So what
I don't.
He's a
believe
WEF puppet, isn't he? He's a Davos puppet. He already said Davos over Westminster.
I think he wants us to go back into the European.
Of course he does. That's what he's doing by stealth. Thinks we won't notice.
That's a side. You know, like a magician, watch one hand, but the other one's actually doing what's real.
All right.
He's making us talk and all about that, but in actual fact, he's quite happy to be a dictator because every decision he makes...
He's not a dictator. I have to stick up
Well, you
for
get
him.
arrested if you say against him, if you're on the wrong side. It's sort of authoritarian,
We haven't had the police yet knock on the door. I'm waiting, and I think he's the worst Prime Minister we've had in my lifetime.
And that's a long time.
And I think
why does he keep making decisions that aid China and Iran?
Well, he's made two, and I think he thinks he wants to bring. I don't know. I hope he is not like you and Karen think he is. I hope if he actually does get like that, then he will be dealt with. But I don't believe he is. Karen, thank you for that. Let's squeeze Paul in, I think, just before the news.
South Wales.
At 11 o'clock. Paul.
Hello, Graham.
Paul.
Mike Graham.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hi.
No, wrong programme. He's on during the week. Thanks, Paul.
Good show, though.
Yeah, good show. If you want to join us, 0344 499 1000. We'll take a break for the news. We have got some. I don't know. We've got
any voice messages?
Yeah, we have, but I've not listened to them.
Oh yeah, look, the
Nobody
Panasonic's flashing, but it's
No,
not
they're
ready.
not
You've got to
ready.
rewind it.
I've just spoken to him.
What
If
about
you bloody
Tommy?
listen to the show,
Tommy?
you'd know.
Tommy,
Not
Tommy,
really, no.
here we go.
He thought I was Mike Graham.
Isle of Man, rock on, Tommy.
Tommy.
Rock on, Tommy.
Yeah.
I'm in here, man.
All right.
I want to bring it down a little bit more festive than the politics.
Good.
I would like to have Merry Christmas to James and Ash. Has James or Ash ever been in a school play? And if so, which part did you act?
Oh, I have been. I can't remember. And I was in some musicals and that. What? Why?
No, I didn't do much.
Yeah, you were Ebenezer in a panto at Ian
proper
Beale when he had the
pantomime.
moustache.
Ebenezer Good.
Yeah, and it was when Ian Beale was the director and he had his moustache phase in EastEnders.
Yeah, I know that one.
And Ebenezer and Abenazer.
Anyway, Tommy, what else did you want to know? Because I'm running out of
It's
time.
from the Isle of Man, man.
Yeah.
Well, I used to play a Christmas tree, but I used to, when they finished, they liked me playing with it because they wanted to play with baubles. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Thank you, yeah, but not very funny, Tommy. You're the most boring person I've ever phoned in tonight.
That
let me
was
tell you.
great.
Doesn't do any good for the image of the Isle of Man.
Really damaged it.
Honestly, don't ring in and ask for Mike Graham.
Back in
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile. The home of common sense. This is Talk.
Okay, welcome back to our last show before Christmas.
Yeah, man. Get ready for... Are you going away or are you just staying at home?
I'm going to go to
another
bed.
card, yeah.
Well, do you want to do it? We don't do Christmas cards, really, but...
No, we only do Winterval cards,
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
We don't. We do full-on Christmas cards. Joy to the world.
By the way, Hanukkah falls on the 25th this year.
That's
Quite
another
unusual.
religion we don't bother with.
Light the candles, stick the cherry on the top.
You don't believe in...
Well, TripAdvisor... Look, this is funny. Well, TripAdvisor did give it 1 star. And then there's the people in the barn in Jesus. And, TripAdvisor... No, that was Trustpilot. Yeah, TripAdvisor, very good.
Yeah.
To James, Ash and the team, wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Joanne.
Joanne.
Thanks, Joanne.
Happy New Year, Joanne. And I think
Merry Christmas.
One of the stories that will be talked about a lot in the near future, probably not so much at the moment, we need to work out where we can and where we can't talk, is thank goodness those police officers who had to deal with the mayhem in Manchester at the airport have all been allowed to go back to work, you know. But I'm not sure whether we can talk about it now. The other ones have been...
well, that's now charging, so it will finally go to court, which took the time, but it is going to court.
Yeah, well, so when it finishes at court, we can have a real old ding-dong.
That's right, yeah.
Shall we run... This is a promo for a Christmas show. I have not seen it. I have been begged by a man on his knees just down there for me to play. This is Christmas Day at 1 p.m.
Listen up, lend me your ears. It's the holly and the ivy time of year. Nice and peaceful in the studio till a bunch of carol singers try to get on the show. I say, hey, merry gentlemen, cut the ding-dong and I'll teach you the words of a different song. Christmas bar, Christmas is smelly, overeating, over-drinking and a circus on the telly. On Boxing Day, have the relatives round, have a family fight that goes 10 rounds. I won't have a stocking or a Christmas box. I won't have a crib with an ass and an ox. I'm not going to drink from your wassailing cup. Knock it off, pack it in and wrap it up. Well, I've done the show and I'm home to bed.
Golly, there we are. That was last year.
Wrap it up for Christmas.
I thought that was going to be my last Christmas, and some people were hoping.
George Michael, Wham.
Well done. Of course, Freezing This Christmas is the one that's doing well too.
Yeah, that's right.
And everybody who
it's
downloads...
number one, isn't it? Along with the Wham as well.
Everybody who downloads it will actually help Age Concern. That's very good. Now, this is a very sad story. I want to tell you the story before I introduce you to Amanda. A BBC, you know, I've got no time for the BBC, and the licence fee officials, I've had many call on me in my long life, and they're usually stupid. They can't come in without a warrant, and you don't have to let them in. They are bullying quite often.
Harassing.
And harass you. Anyway, a BBC licence fee officer knocked down a disabled woman with his car before fleeing the scene last week. Amanda White from Chorley in Lancashire, who has stopped paying her licence, says she was left lying in the road after the incident. She uses a mobility scooter and suffers from extreme arthritis. The BBC causes more controversy last week when they announced that they would be knocking on non-payers' doors on Christmas Day. Ignore them. Just ignore them. They don't have to have the door answered to them.
Christmas Day.
And you don't invite them in. Amanda, lovely to talk to you. Welcome to the programme. How are you now?
I'm getting a bit better now. I'm recovering slowly.
Good.
So you were assaulted by him, basically. Yeah. Have the police been informed?
Well, just talk us through what happened.
Well, what happened is they attended my door, knocked at my door. I answered the door.
Yeah.
And I said to him, not today. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And as I was closing the door, he decided to actually throw in one of these visit leaflets. Yeah. So I decided I was not accepting that, and I was adamant I was giving that back to him.
Yeah.
So I closed the door, and then he decided he was going to try and put it through my letterbox. So I got it from the letterbox. I went out to the car, and as I was walking to the car, he was actually slightly driving off. Now, as he slowed down and opened his window, I thought, well, I'm fine to go approach him and give him this back. but I put my hand on the car, and as I was giving him back, he actually drove off and pulled me to the ground with his car.
He didn't punch you.
He should have stopped there by law. If someone's injured in a car accident, it's a car accident.
But then as I fell on the floor and he drove off.
Because somebody said he punched you. He didn't punch you.
No, he didn't punch me. No, he actually...
But you had your hand on the car?
Yeah.
I had my hand on the car, yeah, and as he was driving off, it pulled me down.
So it's technically, that is a car accident, and you're not allowed to leave the scene if someone's injured. It's a criminal offence.
No.
Yeah.
So have you informed the police about it?
I have informed the police, yeah. There's an ongoing investigation.
Well, we probably can't talk about it if it's an ongoing investigation.
Well, it's not actually gone to court or anything like that.
Oh, it hasn't started yet, OK.
No, it's not started.
Have you phoned the BBC?
I haven't phoned the BBC personally, but I've phoned TV licensing, and there's an internal investigation also going on with the...
Good. I would just send a very angry note to the Director General. I mean, I don't suppose he gets much other than annoying.
You haven't got a telly either. This is the whole point. You're not breaking the law. You haven't got a telly, have you?
No. I've got a television. I just don't watch live television. I don't stream live television. I know what I can and can't do, and I've stated that to them. I know what I can and can't watch.
Have you got a light? Have you got an aerial left on your roof?
No.
Good.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway if your telly's not plugged in to receive it.
I live in a block of 4 flats, so it's an internal aerial, but there's no aerial from my TV in here to the connector at all.
And you don't watch iPlayer and stuff like that?
The only way,
like that,
obviously, I would suggest if you are watching a TV in the way that you have to have a licence, you get a licence.
Yeah, I suggest that.
You know,
if you're watching live proper TV, yeah.
If you're not, and there are many TV channels now you can watch without a licence.
Even iPlayer, you can watch S4C if you want to watch in...
And there's that many... there's that much substance out there for streaming and and all that. Do we really need it now?
I don't watch terrestrial anymore. I've actually, the box isn't plugged in. I watch all online, YouTube's, talkTV.
I think all the terrestrial channels like 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is finished. It may take another few years, but
But you wouldn't get your news on them anymore because of the bias.
The bosses of ITV are really quite worried.
Yeah. They'll try and shut down the internet, which is what they're trying to do with the online bill.
Yeah, but they won't do that.
No, they better not.
Well, they can't.
Well, they'll try to bring in. They're even trying to ban Elon Musk. They just fit the laws to try and ban.
I mean, in the same way, when people say, "Oh, we're going to ban children under 16 having an iPhone," well, you can't. Yeah. You can try, but I'll bet you the kids are sort of 14, 15 or so will have them somewhere.
But they try and intimidate you, the TV. Like, first they do it with the letters, which they're not always right in what they say in the letters. And then the people are just individuals. I think they get about 30 quid if they catch someone, or 45 quid. So they're very intimidating and make up their own laws and read out made-up rights to intimidate you to open the door. And about 80% are women that end up in prison. So it's also sexist.
Yeah. And I only stopped paying it at the end of October this year.
Yeah.
And even if you plug on those things and say you have paid a TV licence, they still actually come round because they don't believe anybody. And they think there are loads more people who aren't paying.
It's just the nature of the visits and the thuggery and you know...
Yes, Chuck, we've already said that.
The brutality that they put onto, you know, the person who's at the door. You know, they're knocking at our door. I
haven't got a doorbell anymore because anyone comes around who's got your number. People don't need doorbells anymore, and that will stop you ever answering to people who are just going to hassle you like religious people because they can't actually get in touch with you. It's a very cunning plan. That.
Never, ever, ever let them in.
No.
Without a warrant.
I wouldn't even speak to them, actually.
I don't.
If they go, hello, TV licence, just walk back into your house.
It's just with the time of year, people have Amazon deliveries coming. You really don't know who's knocking at your door. So
no, you're right.
It's that time of year as well where they're going to target people.
Yeah.
Because
they do it on FA Cup final day.
A lot of deliveries and things.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. I'm glad you're getting over it, Amanda.
On the mend.
On the mend. Okay. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us, Amanda White, who treated appallingly by BBC licensing, and I never. Every time they've called on my, once long time ago, they called, and I just opened the door naked. Can you imagine?
What, with a sock on? Yeah.
No, nothing.
Greg
nothing.
Wallace?
No, it was Paul. Neil in Southport. Neil, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, James.
Neil, what can we do for you?
What it is, I just want to talk about the immorality of Keir Starmer.
Where to begin?
Yes, where to begin?
Well, what it is, I mean, he comes to Southport, he comes, lays the wreath, those little girls have come to a Taylor Swift concert, dance class.
But we can't talk about that. But the way he got booed and the way he couldn't handle it, we can't actually talk about the ongoing...
No,
but the way he handled it was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
the parents were there and stuff, yeah.
I understand that. That was terrible.
Yeah.
But nobody seems to talk about less than 2 weeks later, he goes to a Taylor Swift concert.
That's true,
Yeah, we all talked about it at the time, Neil. It was a high part of the conversation of the time.
It's ridiculous for grown men in their 50s and 60s to want to go to a teenage, it's just a weird thing. Politicians were all clamouring to get there.
Neil, on talk, TV and radio, that was a main discussion topic of the time it was happening.
Sadiq Khan gave her a police escort, which shouldn't have been done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the 250 quid Lindsay Hoyle spent on travelling.
£250,000 on travelling. No economy for him.
Thanks, Neil. David is in Manchester. David, you're on the air.
Sir Lindsay Hoyle now.
Hello, James.
David, what can we do for you?
All right, Dave.
Hello, James. You're looking very useful. Youthful. Very youthful.
I think you're mistaking him for me.
Yeah, it probably was him, yeah.
He's the one on the right.
Yeah. Anyway, David, you must have rung up for more than that.
Oh, yes, I have, James. I've rung up for more than that. Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage?
We need to bring this government down. You know...
David, we were... At the next election, it's up to all of us to how we vote. And
Did you vote Labour last time?
Yeah.
Well, there we are.
Well,
you should be ashamed of yourself,
it's your
David.
Fault.
Your fault.
Part of the problem.
David, you know, you can't grovel enough if you voted Labour last time. I mean, how...
I bet you voted Remain as well, didn't you? Double whammy.
James.
David.
I've never voted Labour in my life.
You just said you did.
You said you did, yeah.
No, I didn't say that. I said we need to bring them down.
No, but after that, I said, did you vote?
What do you want to do? Start a revolution?
Let's start again.
Well, that's a start.
No, go away, stupid man. Those sort of people are the sort of people you don't want in your country. Start a revolution, all that sort of stuff. Ridiculous. You don't. Gary in West. What we need is people have to vote in an election, and you have to think about it.
They're trying to cancel all the elections now.
Mandatory election. Well, I know that's
because they know they'll do badly.
They won't get in again, probably. Gary, hello.
Hi. Cryptozoology. In Peru, there's recently been discovered 27, no less, unknown species of Animalia. Now, this is extraordinary because I think it's
new animals. What, big animals or just little insects that don't really... they find them all the time. You're talking big, substantial animals.
Just hold on.
No.
Hey, hang on. Will you shut up? What is that music you're playing in the background?
Me? I'm not playing any music.
Somebody is.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, tell us now, Gary. It's okay.
Tell us about the new animals, then.
Yeah. Now, what I was saying is that in this weird time that we are living...
Are they edible?
It's not...
Be quiet for a minute.
It's not... They're edible. It's not surprising that these weird creatures... There's one that's just been discovered, a sea mammal that's got this enormous swollen head... And the experts are absolutely baffled about what this is.
It's a whale.
Will you shush and let him get? He's trying to be funny. Leave it. I'll tell you again, you can go and making it even more difficult to do the show.
No,
get to the point, Gary. Come on. So they've discovered this mammal with a big head.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, I suppose, the point is that we shouldn't be... what is happening in humanity and society is being reflected in Animalia with all this weirdness that's going on in human beings behaving in a very peculiar, strange way. And this is bound.
Are you getting any medical help at the moment, or are you just allowed to run free?
I'm disabled. I told you.
Well, join us all. Well,
He's in West Sussex. They're all a bit funny round down there, aren't they?
I've got terminal cancer, so let's not go trying to show off.
It's not a
to each other.
competition.
No. I mean, Gary,
but who would win if there was one?
The animal, they're always finding new species of animals.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the way the world is going. Species die out, new species come in, depending upon the way the climate goes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if I were you, I wouldn't worry about it.
But David Attenborough, it's good for him because they've ran out of animals, haven't they, for his TV shows?
I'm partially in agreement with you, but I think it's getting weirder.
Life is getting weirder, Gary. Life is very weird. Thanks for your call. Caroline's in London. Caroline.
Oh, James, hi. After years of listening to you, it's the first time I've ever spoken to you.
Well, it's lovely to talk to you, Caroline. Where are you?
Where am I? Where do I start?
I don't know.
Every single day, something more horrific is happening in this country.
Not Animalia, though.
No.
Have you heard about all the new Animalia?
No, I've got other things.
It's brilliant.
To worry
There's
about.
one with a big head and it spins around.
All right, shut up.
No, I want to talk to you about a few things. This country is so out of control. We've got HS2, who spent £3 billion of our money. It was never even going to be built.
100 billion, not 3 billion.
Well, they estimate 300 billion.
Oh, right, yeah, that's more like
and it's just out of control. Our money, your money, my money. We are being, basically, it's like being run by the mafia.
Yep.
COVID was a was a whole other thing.
A lot of backhanders, aren't there, going round? Yeah, a lot of people making billions of pounds.
Climate change, and then obviously everything else going. We've got now Tommy Rob. Anyone that goes and visits Tommy Robinson has got to sign a gagging order. We've got no free speech, and to be honest,
journalists getting arrested.
Who is that? Who's leaning over your shoulder going, yes,
Betty.
So, unless somebody gets in, and I don't even know who it is, but somebody who's going to come in at some point and really get this country back on and forget the East HR, forget all that, just get people, illegal immigrants who created crimes, put them on a plane. Germany do it, France do it.
Well,
why are we not doing it?
Well, because our politicians are too frightened and they are too soft, and
we need a Donald Trump, don't we? We need a Donald Trump.
Thank you, Caroline. I saw somebody, was it her wheezing or somebody speaking in the
She was wheezing, so she had to run double voices.
Yeah, because it's making me wheeze.
Like a harmonium.
Yeah, okay, all right. Right, shall we squeeze another call in, and then we've got...
Yeah, what do you want to do, man?
We're talking about we're talking about OnlyFans, aren't we? Now,
yeah.
let's take a break.
Real money spinner.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile. The home of common sense. This is Talk.
Do you have to... I bought those chocolates for the crew.
Yeah, but everyone's got to have their piece of the pie. I get a cut of everything the crew get. That's been arranged.
But in that case, I bought you a nice bottle of red wine.
No, it don't work the other way around. I protect them.
No.
With my knowledge.
You can do it. Let's play this this voice note from Trevor Willoughby, shall we?
Answer machine. Yeah. Press play.
James, that's Trevor from Felixstowe.
Yeah, we said
Trevor.
Just to put thought, but that moron you've just had on, he's saying that pensioners will be spending 17% of their income at restaurants and things like that.
Okay.
Has he taken into account that that 17% would normally be included in the food they would buy from the supermarkets? So they're not having to spend time cooking, not having to spend money on the cost of cooking.
Lazy.
And the cost of food. So it's all taken into account.
Well, he's gone now. We can't tell him he's gone now.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't know what he's something about. I think he agreed with Charles Aznavour.
Let's talk to Bex in Essex. Essex Bex.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Ash.
Hi, Bex.
All right, Bex.
Hiya. I think the big-headed mammal or mammoth that Gary found was
Alan
Keir
Brazil.
Starmer. I think it's Keir Starmer. He's got confused. I'm so fed up of being angry at the government. I feel like Keir Starmer has done everything but serve the people, and that he's forgotten that he's here to serve the British people. He's serving everyone else in every other country.
And himself.
I don't understand. And
well, I don't... They come on and they say, we're in much more debt than we thought.
£22 billion and they spend 65 billion.
Then they go and give an increase to the doctors, an increase to the teachers.
The train... By the way, the rise in train drivers has meant the trains have ruined because they won't do overtime because they don't need to do overtime anymore. So they'll have to renegotiate overtime and they'll end up getting £700-800 for one shift of about 4 or 5 hours. So it's actually damaged the rail system, the raise.
So and they found the money for it. So where is the money?
Keep going on strike. And also, he just keeps sending money. Where's the proof of this 22 billion black hole? And if there is one, I wish he would bloody fall down.
There isn't. Well, there wasn't one.
There isn't one.
There isn't and wasn't one.
It's made up. He's needed.
We're in debt.
A lot more than 22 billion, like you said.
We're in debt because of the way the government had to bail us out during the pandemic and, pay people not to work. So obviously we are in debt. But
he's making it worse.
Yeah, we should.
Well, $6 billion on migrants. He said he was shutting hotels, and he celebrate they shut 7. They didn't neglected to tell you they opened another 14.
And what he hasn't done is he hasn't stopped spending money abroad to countries that don't need our money. We don't have money to give.
He's giving it to farmers abroad and taking it off our farmers, which is our legacy, which is our food security.
And he's cut back on what they're spending on the armed forces. Which could cause us all trouble in the not too distant future.
And the green taxes that we're paying. Yeah. We've got no power. We're not self-reliant. We can't make our own power anymore, which we could 20 years ago.
But, a lot of people went out and voted Labour, so that they're having to deal with it.
I did not.
Nor did I.
I did not. No, I did not. I would never vote for them. They always ruin the economy every single time, and I just feel like people must have been so uneducated and not realise.
Only 10 million voted for him in a country of 70 million, so that tells you a lot.
I just think young people obviously don't realise what Labour were really like, and every time they bankrupt this country.
But they lied to a lot of people, like the farmers and older and waspy women and pensioners, saying they were going to get all the stuff, and then said, actually, we were lying, and you can go and swivel, basically.
Isn't that treason, though? Isn't that treason?
Well, it's not technically, but it should be.
No, you're probably right.
I mean, that's what happened to Charles I.
Bex, thank you for your call. Good to talk to you. Amanda White does watch live TV. She's watching you on Talk.
But you don't need a licence for Talk TV. Don't worry about that.
Depends where you watch it and how you watch it. But
YouTube, I don't think you do on YouTube. It's not proper TV. It's
you do. Yeah,
I don't think that's right.
Live streaming, you have to have a licence for.
Well, ITV, yes, and BBC, but not Talk TV. We're not an Ofcom regulated TV station. Yeah, but that means you'd have to pay to watch anyone live on YouTube. Really? I don't think so.
So the best thing to do is leave it an hour and then watch it and catch up. That's the best thing to do.
Well, yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
OK, so let's talk to Lee in Southampton. Lee, good evening.
Lee, I'm not in Southampton, I'm in South Wales.
Well, that was quick.
OK, Lee, wherever you are, we're talking to you.
Slow down a bit.
Turn the radio and TV off, Lee, and just listen down the phone.
OK, no worries, I'll
we'll just hang on. We'll just wait for you to do
a viewer got in touch, Chuck, and said they're bored with the snow behind us, which is annoying me slightly. Like we've got a hole in the roof.
It's all on the floor as well. It's all gathering.
Yes, Lee.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with the whole government, to be honest with you.
Not surprising.
Really? OK, well, never have guessed that, but OK.
Can you elaborate?
So?
Yeah, there's nothing they've achieved. There's nothing they promised. There's nothing going on.
They've made it worse, haven't they?
Good.
Thanks for your call.
Very
That
good
was
point,
really
Lee. Thanks for that.
incisive.
We'll
Yeah,
take a break.
Fantastic.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile, the home of common sense. This is Talk.
Welcome back.
Evening.
Right, if you want to join us, 0344 499 1000.
Yeah, man.
And we have some more voice notes. We'll play a little later. I prefer to take the calls.
Look, there's a call from Groningen in Holland ringing.
Really?
Interesting.
Okay. Richard Tice has called for Sharia law to be made illegal in the UK after Britain became the Sharia capital of Europe. Richard Tice says Islamist extremists have a good chance of being elected to Parliament, and the judicial system must get ahead of the game by banning the practice. In fact, we have a clip. Let's have a look.
Here it is.
We need to legislate that we do not want and allow any Sharia law in the United Kingdom anywhere. That's not who we are. It's not our gig. If that's your gig, there are plenty of other places where you can go and enjoy that. That's absolutely fine. That's freedom of choice. But this is the point. This is where we're at now, is that our democracy is being attacked.
Yeah. And I should point it out, I'm as scared of all religions, but there we are. Asan Alidi is the spokesman for the London Ahmadiyya Muslim Association. I hope I've got that right. And Asan joins us now. Asan, good evening to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good evening, gentlemen.
Nearly good morning. How serious is the threat of Sharia law to this country?
Well, you've got Jewish courts, you've got Hindu courts, you've got Sikh courts, you've got Muslim courts. They are courts not over and above the British law. They only work within the needs of the community. They're like arbitrary, consultative sort of courts which help mediate people. They're nothing to do.
But that's the civil side of it. But there's a lot of people who want to bring the hardcore Sharia laws in. I mean, it's not.
I think they're only the extremists who want to do that.
But there's a lot of it. There's 40,000 on the list, and the youth are actually more radicalised than the older ones.
No, I think you got it wrong.
It's Henry Jackson Society that said that.
Well, we know about Henry Jackson Society.
Well, they're very good. They're very good.
And we know about people like Richard Tice as well.
Richard Tice is fine. He's saying what a lot of people believe. Why do we want religions? I don't like any of religion. I'm not Christophobic.
It's a freedom of choice, isn't it?
No,
James?
not when you have people set themselves up as a law to tell people who follow their religion how they should behave. That's definitely not on.
Okay, can you give me any instances where this has happened, where the Muslims or the Jews or the Hindus or the Sikhs have overridden British law? Have you got any
Not yet, but we've got 5 MPs who just won on behalf of Gaza, which has got nothing to do with our country, has it?
And
they won on that ticket.
Apparently they're trying to bring back the laws of...
blasphemy has come back. Look at the teacher in Batley.
It's all hypothetical. There's no...
Well, no, that's actually... He's in hiding now for years, that guy.
Sure, but there's nothing at the moment that you can show me that any of the religious communities have overridden British law.
No, but they got 5 seats.
And that can never happen, I can tell you.
Well, they got 5 seats already. Project forward, they could have 100 seats.
Shush a minute. Let's pretend it begins to happen, because a lot of younger activists...
When it begins to happen, you can call me on and we can discuss it then. At the moment, there is no such thing.
But it is beginning.
Okay, so what do you think... Hang on, just a minute.
It hasn't happened.
What can say a Sharia court, because that's what you're an expert in, what can they say to the people who believe this sort of thing that they can do in this country when it's against our law?
They can't. They should never be able to do anything against the law of the land. We must follow the law of the land. If anyone tries to do that, then I think they should be admonished and they should be brought to court, basically.
And do you think, I agree with you, do you think there should be more education amongst all religious people, because Christians are just as bad in many cases, who are devout. They believe, I'm sorry, but they do. They believe that men are superior to women. Christianity's moved on a little bit, but not that much. Neither religions seem to like the fact you may be gay. They seem to be so obsessed, religions, that they're prepared to go and kill people who disagree with them. Look at the Crusades. The Christians just as bad as Muslims.
But you could go around the world and see different laws, nothing to do with religion, who have different laws to, say, Britain, to America or other countries. So it's not just religion, it's all nations. But you talk about equality. Let me give you a quote from the Holy Quran, just as an example, and I'm not going to give you a long one. In chapter 33, verse 36, it says, "Surely men who submit themselves to God and women who submit themselves to him, and believing men and believing women and obedient men, and so on and so forth." And at the end of that verse, it says, Allah has prepared for all of them forgiveness and a great reward. So men and women are equal in the eyes of God as far as Islam is concerned. I'm not speaking for other religions. And yes, I understand your concerns that some countries do not follow that. That's the problem of that country, not the religion.
But they'll inflict it on people who aren't Islam as well. That's what the extremists would want to do.
Well, you got to remember that if anyone comes from a different Muslim country to Britain, they'll have to follow the laws of this land. So likewise, if anyone from here goes to a Muslim country, they'll have to follow the laws of their land.
Yeah. Good. You've put my mind at rest, Asan. Thank you very much indeed. And if it gets worse, we'll be in touch.
They wouldn't allow churches in those
and we'll
lands.
have a little chat.
There are more churches in Muslim countries.
Well, like you can't even take Christmas presents to Saudi Arabia. You'll get arrested.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it is true. I know someone who went there just recently.
You might be listening to Reform about this.
I spoke to a friend who lives there. I spoke to a friend, but that's true.
It's not true.
It's, you know, the world, in my view, the world would be such a better place without religion. You know, you're obsessed with Judaism.
Well, look, I don't see a problem with divorce Sharia courts if the woman and the man both agree to
but what
that
about
framework.
Jewish courts?
What about Jewish courts? That's what the Sharia courts.
Yeah, but that's not what a lot of people. There are some people who want, especially young Muslims, who want the full Sharia brought in, the criminal.
Then those people should be tackled separately, not with the
well, there's 40,000 of them on the watch list, isn't there?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the numbers. I don't know where they've got those numbers from. But I agree with you that if there are such people who are propagating that, then they should be brought to account and be told.
But it's not illegal.
That British law.
It's currently not illegal, though. That's what Richard Tice was saying. It should be shut, that loophole.
Maybe we need.
Well, I think Richard Tice is just an Islamophobe, so I don't take notice.
No, he's. Why
do you say he's an Islamophobe?
Shut up a minute. Will you be quiet? I can assure you I know Richard very well. He is not Islamophobic. I can assure you he isn't. But every time you want to actually criticise something in Islam, you are called Islamophobic. Every time you want to criticise
it's
people
Islamists,
to this country,
not Islam.
And every time I criticise him because he's Jewish, he gets himself all worked up. What is it with you people?
I don't
yes, you do.
No, I don't.
What is it with all of you get so worked up about your flipping religion?
I don't.
You know,
James, last time I was on with you called me a very intelligent man because we were talking religion.
I think you are.
Because you like these you look similar.
We don't look similar. I think you are an intelligent man, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
This is a difficulty. In the new year, I may get rid of this.
Yeah. But the thing is, when we were speaking last time, we had a very amenable.
You sure it was him? It couldn't have been.
No, it was definitely James. He was, in fact, just before his serious illness.
Yeah,
and I did tweet a message to you for you hoping to get well soon, and then you are looking very well.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. But I just, I know you're a religious person. I'm not. And it's just that I have a problem with religions trying to force other people to behave in the same way. I got very angry about the Orthodox Jewish area where they wanted to tie stuff to lampposts so they could go out.
And that's gone ahead and it's not affected anyone.
It's stupid. That's all. Take a break.
One of them.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile, the home of common sense. This is talk.
Right, welcome back. For some reason, I've got us on to a different program's.
Oh, yeah, you can read Kev's out, Kev's messages.
I don't know what I've done, so someone will come and have a
No, it says it's coming 4 seconds ago. They must be very slow with their fingers.
It's, I don't know.
You and your fumbling fingers, isn't it?
I mean, I was only fiddling around up there
what
somewhere.
have you done? What have you
But never mind. Let's talk to Luan, who's...
in Groningen.
In Groningen.
In the Netherlands.
Yeah. What is hello in...
Burada.
Yeah.
Dag.
A Burada.
Hello.
Hi, James and Ash. Do you know something? I'm sitting here, I'm absolutely horrified.
Oh, dear.
I'm in Groningen, the Netherlands. I'm Scottish. I'm from Aberdeen. Right.
Aberdeen?
Aberdeen. And I've lived here for 20 years. I'm a senior lecturer. The abhorrent thing that's happened in Germany tonight. If you look at European...
Because we've been on the air while that's been happening, can you just tell everybody exactly what has happened? I've noticed bits of it on the screens around.
I've actually seen what happened.
I'll update you because I've been watching it, and the German MPs
Actually, for those people watching on Talk Television at the moment, we have live pictures streaming now.
But we can't show the incident, but I've seen it, and basically a 4x4 drives through a crowd of people.
We just listen to Luan, thank you.
But wait a minute. This is, you know, I went to my bed because I was actually tired because I'm doing Christmas shopping and all that shit. And we've got the Christmas markets here in the Netherlands. And I was there this afternoon. And I said to my friend Ina, I said, I don't feel comfortable here. And I warned about this in November. I said to Ina, I said, listen, we're not going to that Christmas market. We're just not going.
Why do you not feel comfortable there? What was the problem?
You know the problem.
No, I'm asking you. Tell me what the problem is.
The fear of being run down.
Germany were on alert for this sort of thing,
but
if it is that sort of thing.
Why were they on alert for it? What was?
Because it's a threat.
It's a threat.
It's a massive threat in the Netherlands. And I'm coming from like a neutral place. You know what I mean? I've enjoyed living in the Netherlands. I've no grudge against Europe or whatever else. I was Brexit, by the way. Never mind. But the thing is, I fit in because I'm Scottish in the Netherlands. It's the same culture. What's happened here is, in Germany, there's 11 dead and 60 fatally, well, not fatally, wrong word, extremely wounded.
So there is one adult and one child so far they know have been killed.
There's 11 killed.
80 injured.
No, they're saying that's not confirmed.
It's confirmed,
it's not confirmed here, so we can't really talk about it.
Listen,
we can't speculate. I mean, it did look a lot worse than what they're saying, to be honest, but because I saw it.
As soon as we get the official point of view, we will talk about it, but at the moment, people are speculating, and that makes it very, very difficult to
But this is why they should come out quickly and say what's going on. They've arrested the man.
They've arrested the guy. He's caught. We'll find out why, who, where, what.
It's happened here on bridges, if it's the same sort of thing, but that definitely was. But the barriers obviously weren't good enough. The car just drove through barriers and was able to do it. So it's horrendous footage.
But it's only happened in the last couple of hours.
Yeah, it's all
and there are lots of fabrications going out at the moment on social media which need to be
It did look a lot worse than
sorted.
2 people, but that's what they're saying at the moment officially.
Okay. Right, do we take a break? Okay,
Paul in Liverpool. All right.
Hello?
Yes, Paul, what can we do for you?
Yeah, I just saw about tonight what's happening in Magdeburg, the kid and the other adult killed and 58 injured at the moment.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened in Germany in 2016. But I wrote to Keir Starmer after the stabbings in Southport. I know about...
Well, we can't talk about that because that's an ongoing case at the moment.
We can't talk about that either, Paul, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right, let's...
Could jeopardise the case.
Let's play a voice clip while we just sort this out, what we can and cannot do, because we do, although we talk about anything and can talk about anything, and other stations get into a lot of trouble because they talk about things. Yeah. Gary in West Sussex. Hello, Gary.
Hello again, James. I wanted to say that we were all in prison. You can't say anything nowadays. I said something about a red Indian and was corrected promptly to say, we don't say that, we now say Native American Indian. We've all been imprisoned. We can't say anything.
Okay. So, Gary, what is it you're talking about? You know, there are certain things that change, certain ways people like to be described. Red Indian is pretty offensive anyway. What is wrong with a Native American? Let's remember that.
Although that's offensive because that's saying it was named after Amerigo and they were there before him.
Yeah.
The actual association is called the Association of American Indians.
Yeah.
So that's
What I'm saying is that we are being bullied into saying things that extreme wokists.
You're not being bullied. It's not extremely woke. You can say man or woman, as far as I'm concerned.
But you could get arrested, can't you? He's right. I mean, look at Alison Pearson and other people who've gone to prison. He's right. People are scared to talk. They've been terrorised by the government.
But I don't agree with that. There are certain laws you cannot, like the ones about things that are going to go on trial and things that, you know... And
no, but it's nothing to do with that. If you offend someone and they perceive it as offensive, that's it.
Well, there are certain things that we have a producer here to tell us and we have to take note of. I've managed to do 50 years without becoming too...
But we didn't have those non-crime hate incident things.
They're not. If I want to say Keir Starmer is the worst bloody Prime Minister in my entire life, I've just said it.
Well, that's objectively true.
If I say that the front bench are not up to the job they're doing, that's true. But I'd still use the term chairman. I'd still use the term manhole cover. And if it's a police officer, I say it's a policeman or a policewoman, depending on their sex. I have absolutely no time for the gender activists and all those... but
if someone wants to say you're not a trans woman, you're a man, that is, you know, you're allowed to do that in human rights, but then in other ways you're not allowed to do that.
Well, human rights are a waste of space, in my view.
Yeah, but they arrest people on those things.
Human rights, diversity organisations... the same thing. They just, you know...
They cause a schism. We were all getting along fine without all these diversity and identity politics. This has actually caused... I mean, gay rights had been sorted out, but now people who are gay are saying that it's gone backwards because of all the LG, BLT and tomato.
And this whole thing about, you know, a real minority of a minority, trans activists, who have been allowed to actually impose their views on so many people.
In the name of liberalism,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's not liberal, it's illiberal.
So I wouldn't worry about it, Gary. We're on your side.
Say what you want, but don't tell them we told you to do that.
But, Gary, you need to keep your mind on what is legally acceptable. You know, things that were legally acceptable 20 or 30 years ago that I could do on my TV show, then I can't do it now. The laws and the times change.
Quite right with what you used to get up to on that show.
Yeah.
I can follow you and I can fully understand.
Sorry, what?
I think he is. Call us again like in about 20 minutes.
Richard.
In London.
Why were we saying to Gary call him back?
Well, he called about half an hour ago, so...
Well, no.
Get an update on how he's
They
doing.
said to me he had not been on. And I said, don't put the same person on twice or I'll come out... You just said he had.
Well, one of us is lying, isn't it? You don't know. He's not been on.
Gary hasn't been on. He's... OK. Richard.
Hi there. I will say I do agree as a gay man with the previous caller and your remarks on that, but moving to a slightly different subject, I'm somebody who's born and bred British, very much a patriot, but I've recently felt the need to... I'm a dual national and I renewed my New Zealand passport. And this seemed like a very good decision given Keir Starmer's remarks in Estonia. I feel like he's almost antagonising the Russians to...
But what's it like in New Zealand? Isn't it like Australia and New Zealand? Because they've gone terrible woke in there, or is it different in New Zealand?
I feel it's sort of on the woke side of things. It
is.
Probably equally bad as it is here.
I know.
But they're not, getting on their pedestals and antagonising the Russians. I mean, we're obviously far more geographically close to the Russians, so I'm very much got a go bag packed and
got a go bag packed to go where?
Well, to New Zealand, because.
Why would you go to New Zealand?
He's got dual national.
Oh, right, okay.
But have you been there? It's a bit boring. We know someone moved there and had to come back. They were so bored. I mean, it's a beautiful place.
I agree. Like, the government even had to set up a, anti-suicide situation for Kiwis returning to New Zealand. Well, because of the loneliness and the lack of people.
So, Richard, I think, to be quite honest, if you wait till that time, and it gets to that time, which I don't think it will, you probably won't be able to get a plane out.
I mean, which part of London are you in?
I'm in West London.
What?
In Chiswick.
Oh, it's quite nice, Chiswick.
Well, it's full of wokies.
It's full of woke. It's got the river, a lot of BBC types down. Have you got the river? It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I stayed here.
I'd stay there, mate. It's nice. I'd stay there rather than New Zealand.
But I mean, I do feel like Keir Starmer. I'm absolutely behind Ukraine and everything, but I do think Starmer needs to tone down the rhetoric a little bit to stop.
Starmer, his rhetoric isn't enough. I think, to be quite honest with you, if Putin is allowed to carry on the way he is, and he's now bombing regularly Kiev, and if he thinks he's going to capture the Ukraine, then where's he going to go after that? So Putin has got to be put in his box.
Trump will do a deal with him.
I understand that, but for the basic safety of people that live in this country, I think I was quite happy with everything that was going on before.
Putin's not stupid, though, is he? He's waiting for Trump to come in.
Can you stop interrupting in the wrong place? Seriously, or I'm going to throw you off.
The last 6 months
just helping him out.
Have been the last 6 months. The communications on it have been particularly antagonistic, and that's what concerns me. I was quite happy for us while we were funding Ukraine, etc. I'm far more concerned now where it's far more aggressive, the Storm Shadow missiles, etc.
Yeah. Let's put him back in his box, and if he wants to start killing innocent people in Ukraine, then he really does need putting in his place.
So Zelensky is now agreeing to give some land to them.
You're basically saying you're a coward and you just want to go and live where there isn't going to be any trouble.
Yeah, you chicken.
You know, I think going to New Zealand is probably the most boring thing anybody could do.
I mean, I'm the grandson of a man who spent his entire life defending this country, and I stand.
You're not your grandfather, are you?
That would be
just because he did it.
That would be unsavoury.
We're talking about you, not another member of your family.
No, I understand that, and I don't particularly appreciate being called a coward. But
what is somebody who wants to leave and not stand their ground?
Well, it's a question of do we have the military capabilities at the moment to stand up
I hope
against a military assault?
Well, I hope we do, because my grandson is in the military.
Particularly we currently continue to have a democratic government in the US. I'll feel more comfortable once Trump comes in, absolutely.
Well, Putin will be waiting for Trump, won't he? He won't do anything.
Well, hopefully Putin, who is a nasty piece of work, is going to be sorted
no doubt
out.
about that.
Okay.
But he's not stupid.
Thank you, Richard. Let's talk to Harrison in London. Leicester, does it?
Lester Harrison.
All right, yeah, Lester Harrison.
Sounds like a movie star.
Harrison.
I am a movie star, thanks, Ash.
Nice.
I just wanted to say, stuff you won't be...
Oh, why'd you cut him off?
We didn't know what he was going to say anything bad. He might have been very complimentary.
You haven't worked on Friday nights on my show for a while.
Now, finish what you wanted to say. Finish what
carry on.
You wanted to do.
What was his name? Harrison.
Damien. Oh, no, Harrison, he's gone. We're just getting him back.
Forget it. Damien.
Stratford-upon-Avon.
Hello.
Yes, Damien.
Merry Christmas to the pair of you, by the way.
Thank you, Damien. And the same to you.
Yeah, I've recently become a pensioner. I've had to give up work.
Join the club, mate.
I've had to give up work.
How much are you getting a month?
Yeah, there's a question.
Yeah.
I think it's about £943 a month every 4 weeks.
Quite a lot. That's more than in Stratford. I mean,
I tried to claim for the pension credit, and I was told I'm not entitled to it because I get state pension.
Do you? Yeah, you get more than I get a state pension. How old are you? Hang on.
I'm 66 now.
You see, I'm nearly 10 years older than you, and I get less.
Why don't you do
state
walking
pension.
tours around Stratford-upon-Avon to American tourists?
Well, like I said, I'm just recovering from a stroke.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've had to give up work through that.
Okay, well, when you feel a bit better, if you get a bit better, that's what we want.
You can maybe get benefits, PIP, for that or something if you look into it.
No, I've tried it. I'm not entitled to it, apparently. Not entitled to anything.
Terrible.
Really.
But are you mobile and everything still? Or
I'm a mobile, yes. I've worked hard to get back to
That's good.
95% of whatever.
Do you have any private pension or not?
Very little.
What did you do all your life? What was your job?
I was, first of all, I was a printer, and then I became a toolmaker.
Well, you should. I mean, it's terrible, isn't it? You work all your life in good jobs like that, and you haven't got. It's terrible, isn't it? Really, that is.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Damien,
very unfair.
We feel your pain, and I think a lot of people don't realise. Thanks, Damien, by the way. A lot of people don't realise how I think my pension, my old age pension, is about 800.
I haven't got anything because
Well, no, you're not going to retire
Gordon
until
Brown
you're about
and
80,
that
are
just
you?
didn't seem. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
he lives in Stratford-upon-Avon.
might
It's
be the
nice
last
down
one,
there, isn't it? It's nice in Stratford-upon-Avon.
Yeah, very nice
Home
indeed.
of the Bard.
Shall we try and squeeze Frank in? Why not?
And Edward Woodward lived there.
Frankie in Bristol. Frank.
Hello.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, James. Some years ago, 1980, I used to give a guy a lift up to Bradford about once a month. Yeah. Anyway, this went on for a couple of years. Nice man. Pakistani fella. So, after a couple of years, we got to know each other really well. So I said, well, you mind me asking why you come up here? It turns out he was on the bench of a Sharia court.
All right. Well, there we are.
I'd never heard of this at the time. Anyway, a little while after that, the people he went up to visit came to visit him. And he pointed one out. He said, that's the main man. I said, well, like the main judge? He said, no, that's the executioner.
Well, he was teasing you in that case. Thank you, Frank. So that's the big problem, of course. A lot of people do say a lot of things to wind.
Well, there has been
people
honour killings, which is a disgusting. Well, they shouldn't call it that even. That does go on. It's horrendous.
Absolutely horrendous. And a lot of people on all religions all wanted to put people to death. The Jews, didn't they execute
maybe a couple of thousand years ago, I don't know. I wasn't around. I mean, you'd know more about that than me.
The end of Friday and the beginning of the weekend. See you after this.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile. The home of common sense. This is Talk.
They keep coming back and doing that. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good
Merry
morning.
Christmas, by the way. We're in our Christmas hovel.
I'm not feeling too good, so I may well actually finish a little early and leave you with him in a bit, but...
We're back on Christmas Day, don't we?
I'm finding a little bit... anyway, listen, I'm not pleading. I'm just want to see how long I can go on for. So if you're easily offended and upset, this is not the show for you.
He's got the lurgy, that's what it is. Don't worry.
Two people... I want to do this story because some people say, you're not talking about it. Why are you not talking about it? There are many reasons. I'm going to tell you now. This is what happened in Germany this evening. Two people have been killed after a car was driven through a crowd in the German city of Magdeburg. Now, we think, and we're told officially, that 60 people have been injured. 15 of those are in a serious condition. Two, we believe, have already died, an adult and a child. The car drove at speed into a Christmas market. The suspect, who has been arrested now, is a Saudi Arabian doctor in his 50s who has lived in Germany since 2006. Those are the facts that are coming out of the authorities in the Netherlands. Germany, sorry. Those are the authorities, the facts that are coming out. Unfortunately, on social media, and this is where we have to learn to understand it, there are all kinds of conspiracy theories about who's done it, why they've done it. Some may be true, most won't be true, but the facts, as we know it, released officially, are those.
And at least they have come out quickly and released those.
Yeah. So over 60 people in the crowd have been, injured.
15 seriously.
15 seriously, 2 sadly killed. A suspect who has been arrested is a Saudi Arabian doctor in his 50s who's lived in Germany since 2006. As soon as we get more official news, rather than the stuff you can read on social media, which we're reading here, but you can't speculate about something like that, we will come to it and talk. Talking about talk, we'll do some voicemails and we'll take your calls. And if I have to go home early, you can get to do the show on your own.
You're all right.
Inside, I don't feel all right.
No. He's got that lurgy. It's nothing to do with...
Francis in Wiltshire. Francis, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, James Nash. You just had a chap called Damien on, and I just wanted to give him a little bit of help.
Yeah.
At 62, he can't get pension credit. You've got to be a minimum age of 66. And it's a hell of a lot of paperwork, I'll tell you. But you would qualify, I think.
I thought he said he was 66. I thought he said he was.
Yeah, 66. That's state retirement age for men.
Yeah. Well, sexist, isn't it?
I was able to retire at 65.
Do women get it younger than 60? Because we live less life.
You can retire younger, but you won't get state pension until you're 66.
Oh.
So what he needs to do is to redouble his efforts in getting PIP.
Getting what?
In the interim.
He said he can't get that. He tried it.
Well, he should try again because he's being fobbed off, to be honest.
Yeah, apparently you do need to do it.
If he's had a stroke, he's so eligible.
Exactly.
Even if it's a minor, because he said he was 95% better now. So even if you've had a minus, it wouldn't have to be a substantial where you can't move. He was mobile and he could talk fine.
Well, I think the trick with PIP is that you have to think of your worst days, not your best days, because we're all honest people who think we can get over everything and we can cope.
Yeah.
But that's not the right way to treat the PIP system.
And sometimes it's not the right way to treat yourself either.
No.
I know.
Are you all right, Francis? You're retired, and have you got an income and everything that you
No, I'm on state pension and pension credit.
Yeah.
I'm actually just, I'm working on correspondence actually with a US developer at the moment because I'm developing at 68, I'm developing a patient app for the NHS.
Are you a former doctor or something, a medic?
No, I'm just a guy that's done quite a lot in my life. And what I'm trying to do, I've developed market-leading financial products.
Because you must have a few quid then if you've done all that.
No, the FCA shut me down, killed me, literally killed me. I'm lucky even to be standing up, to be honest.
And their head was rubbish and got promoted to the Bank of England as a reward for being rubbish.
Absolutely. Well, I certainly wasn't rubbish. I used to tread the corridors of Whitehall, whether it was the Canary Wharf for the FCA, but in Whitehall it used to be HMRC, HM Treasury.
So were you a civil servant? I
was there.
You were a civil servant. You should have a great pension if you were a civil servant.
No, I was private. You see, you get.
That's where you went wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember a chap turning up for meetings with HMRC. We couldn't have them before 10 o'clock because he was travelling in from Wales.
Unbelievable.
Well, there we go. Francis, good to hear you sound positive, and that is always good. Excuse me, the more positive you sound, the better things.
Yeah, he sounds all right. Yeah.
Francis, thank you for that. Let's talk to David, who is
Alba? Is that Alva? Scotland?
Alva. In Scotland, I've not heard of it.
There's no such place called Alva.
Yeah, well, there must be, because David is there. David.
Who was on?
Dave?
Where?
David? Dave?
Hello?
Hello, David.
Hello there.
All right, Dave.
Talk away, David. Talk away.
Morning, Dave.
Hey. Hello, James. Hi, Ash. How you doing? You okay?
All right, Dave.
Anyway, David, what can we do for you?
Well, I was just kind of trying to relate to the thing that's happened tonight in Germany. It's basically, I think we're getting overrun by these people. And I think they're all, as you were speaking about earlier on, with the Sharia law and everything like that, and they're going to go on with...
Oh, David, don't come on and be Islamophobic. We're not getting overrun. We just need to be aware that some people would like to
We don't know exactly what this is, hasn't been confirmed, but we've had problems here with that.
Yeah. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
All right.
When they are found guilty and they want to run by, like, Sharia law or etc., would it not be sort of sensible that they're treated by their own laws and the punishment?
But the laws we've just heard, and I think people need to take note of this, the law will not rule over British law. There may be some things that you can do because of your religion, and this is the problem.
Unless they get enough MPs, and then they can change the law.
Well, if they get enough MPs, I will be exceptionally amazed, because I think the majority of people...
50 years, you don't know.
This is a secular nation. We do not want religious people trying to take it over.
5 MPs now.
Well, I won't be around for that long, so who knows? Go on.
I totally get that, but, I mean, they're preaching to us that they want this ideology, etc.
They want what?
The ideology. Well, we had the MP come up and wanted to bring back blasphemy laws, which, we don't want that. We don't want blasphemy.
Back.
Exactly. But
we'll talk out against that.
Luckily.
No, but it seems to be, as we keep saying, two-tier.
Yeah.
Two-tier justice.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Justice, you cannot come and do somebody, under Sharia law that has committed a crime like burglary or whatever.
No.
That will have to...
Not yet.
And to be honest, the only thing they
You like Sharia law for burglary, actually, didn't you?
Yeah, I think
you would actually like that.
But... I think we're probably getting a little too carried away with it.
But 5 MPs have gone on just the ticket of Gaza. What's that got to do with it?
They shouldn't have been allowed to do that, in my opinion.
That's what Richard Tice is saying. So
they should not have been allowed to stand. And in
Corbyn
the areas,
did it.
Corbyn's an idiot.
Well, yeah,
and where
where
they stand, and the people they
use the
to
community
have
with them,
most time for are not the people who want to live under British culture.
We've got ghettoisation, you see. People are not mixing like we used to all mix, but then there's been so much mass immigration that people have got pockets and they've just like their home countries in those pockets.
Yeah. David, thank you for that. Let's talk to Leslie in Wellingborough.
Hello, James and Ash.
All right, man.
I'll just say this first. I wish you both a very happy Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, will you?
Well, that's not much, is it? That's not much.
Still enjoy yourself.
Well, we'll try to.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
We don't treat you any differently, really.
No. You're great. About Putin saying he's ready for talks. In between the ballistic missiles, of course. Today I heard a top general. Right. Yeah. He's truly. He said, "Is he truly committed to peace?" He says he's not, because Russian government sources, they say he's simply stalling for time. And Levinsky says that.
He's probably stalling. You know, he's not going to mess with Donald Trump. Zelensky said he's already up to a deal. Trump does the art of the deal. They'll give him the land that's Russian-speaking, and that'll be it. And that'll be his off-ramp. Because Putin hasn't done... He was meant to win that in 5 days. He's embarrassing himself. And he just had to leave Syria with a tail between her legs, so they're not in a good position.
No. I understand that, what you're saying, yeah. I was thinking, though, you know, overall everything... Ukraine will have to give up their plans of joining NATO, because that's what a lot of it is about, isn't it? Because he's going to be surrounded by NATO, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't think he likes that. I think that is the crux.
Well, in 1963, the Americans didn't want the Russians on the, at the border with Cuba, did they? So, I mean, it's sort of the goose and the gander. And after the Berlin Wall came down, they did promise not to expand eastwards.
Yeah. Kennedy and Khrushchev, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Leslie, thank you for that. Let's talk to Gary in Coventry. Gary, good morning.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Morning.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to both of you.
Thanks, man.
I'll speak to you again. It's about the pension credits.
Yeah.
And the ridiculous form people have to fill in. Yeah. Now, you see, what they say is, if you earn more than 170, if your pension is more than £173.94 a week, you can't claim anything. So that's just the end of it.
It's 11 grand a year, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, when you're under 73, so they make the bottom pension, if you've worked all your life as a single person, they make 175, so you can't claim the pension credits or tax credits or anything. Can't claim them.
Yeah.
I've tried and I've had 2 letters back saying, no, you don't qualify.
What you should do, and what people don't actually do anymore, is that they should go along to a Citizens Advice Bureau.
Yeah.
And lay yourself open to them, and they are usually really good at helping out. Try that, Gary, and give us a call back and see what they've said.
And there's OnlyFans as well.
Is in Reading.
Mohammed.
Hello there.
I said Mohammed.
Hi. I was interested in your chat about the Sharia law. Unfortunately, James, people like myself actually live under the Sharia law in practice.
Why?
And I'll explain why. As an ex-Muslim, I cannot live openly amongst my own community, otherwise I would get killed.
Who would kill you?
Apostasy laws, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That is the law, the Sharia law.
Well, we don't need that sort of thing in this country. You said a former Muslim. Are you a Muslim or not?
I'm not, no. 2 of my friends were almost murdered. One friend in Bradford, Nisa Hussain, had to be escorted out of Bradford by armed police officers.
Because it's the death penalty, effectively. For the fundamentalists that live here, and there are thousands, they would believe you should be put to death.
Absolutely, and these important people like yourself bring this to the forefront, because why is the politicians allowing Sharia law to be practiced in this country and not protect people like me?
Because they're cowards.
A gay person cannot live amongst the Muslims for the same reason.
Well, apparently, Asan Alidi we spoke to before, who I had a very intelligent conversation with some time ago.
But not this time.
Well, I don't know. Spokesperson for the London Muslim Association, whatever that is. So he says, no, it's nowhere near as serious, and it just, they're just a few things. And if they try and run roughshod over British law, then they will be dealt with.
But we have
Anjem
Chowdhury on the show. Do you remember? He was in Luton, and his followers called for the full Sharia law. Execute people who have affairs.
Completely stupid.
Yeah, but he has thousands of followers.
James, Enoch
Powell, I agreed with his speech somewhat. The only thing that he got wrong was it's not the black man that'll have the whip or the white man. It's Islam that will have the whip or the non-Muslims. So he got that part wrong. Even in the Islamic Charter, it says kill the Jews.
And the Christians, and the infidels, Christians as well.
Well, especially the Jews. The Jews are the worst.
They get extra.
Are you a gay man, Mohammed?
No, I'm not. But I'm not. No,
I don't mind. Bother me.
I don't have anything against gays. Everybody has a right to be who they want to be within the law. Now, this is we are heading towards rivers of blood, right? I believe it will happen in the next 30 years. And,
well, I sincerely hope it won't. Listen, Mohammed, I will be very sad if we don't see the error of our ways. And some of these very young activists, not only within Islam, but within other forms of religion as well, if they don't stop behaving in the idiotic way they are across the world. And it looks like we're going to have a big major punch-up in Syria now as well, of which this government seemed totally inept. They just send them millions of quid.
Well, Christians are getting subjugated already in Syria.
And, we've got to stop this. Religion, fine. Believe what you want, but you keep it in your head. You don't try and inflict it on somebody else. And because you believe something that you can't prove, and that's fine. But don't go around going on about how superior you are to everybody else.
Do you know, James, these attacks at Southport, the reaction of my Pakistani community was this is for Gaza. Instead of saying this is a hideous attack on
we don't know that's still ongoing, but
that's still ongoing. And to be quite frank, I was disgusted by the people who behaved in the way they did.
Well, there were 5 MPs that did say it was for Gaza, them standing.
And they should be.
That's what our political system allows.
Be kicked out. And the people who went on setting fire to stuff and assaulting the police and everything else, they should.
And in Birmingham, they attacked that
got
pub.
locked up.
Just beat up white people.
I'm going to go now and leave you to do the final half hour or so of the show because I'm not feeling so good.
Get him a vodka.
Have a great Christmas. And I've just got a bit of a cold on top of my
he's
cancer.
got a cold. Did Julia Hartley brew a cold? It's
no, I
nasty.
think it's yours. And,
well, she got it off me.
It makes it a little difficult to breathe, but I'm going to be fine. And
You'll be all right, won't you?
Go to bed and go to home and go to bed. But I shall be back on Christmas Day.
1 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Will you two shut the fuck up, for God's sake?
Just helping you out.
I'm trying to talk. I've got you in one ear, you in the other talking bollocks.
So twice as good then, isn't it? It's twice as good.
I will be back with my lady wife. We're doing a programme on Christmas Day. We'll be talking to Elvis, well, one of them, and various other people. I can't really tell you because it was a surprise. And we'll pretend it's live because the producer likes that sort of thing. And then I think I'm on Plank of the Year. Has Plank of the Year been out yet or not? Oh, right. Plank of the Week is a Christmas special.
Don't tell
Why is it on now while I'm... Oh, it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Don't watch it till at 1 p.m.
Anytime on YouTube,
watch it.
As you can watch this. Have a great Christmas. Enjoy it. Do not be upset by all these people who think they know better. And if somebody says Happy Winterville to you, say, and a very happy Christmas to you.
And then run away.
No, don't run away. Just, leave them. We're back with the normal programme, hopefully on Friday the 27th.
That is the correct answer.
Now, can you actually manage?
I think it'll be a much better show. So it's just Ash unleashed in the James Wales show. He's going home. He can't, he's lazy. Get him a vodka. Anyway, see you in a couple of minutes and give us a bell.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile. The home of common sense.
Yeah, James, I'll just censor myself there. James Wales has just left the building. But anyway, Richard, give us a ring, 03444991000 at Virtual Ash. But anyway, I can see the answer machine's flat. It's Steve, is it? Let's hear what Steve's got to say.
Hello, James and Ash.
He's gone, yeah.
That guest you had on there, right? Charles Amos, right?
Yeah.
He's like a parody of something that you would have seen on something like Brass Eye or the Day to Day, a Chris Morris skit.
Yeah.
And also, how ironic is it? His name is an anagram of charmless. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think he's like a comedian and he's going to come out in like a year, but he's been doing it about 5 years. So, I don't know, but I think his the workhouse policy is good. Anyway, yeah, if you want to leave a voice message, 03444991000, it's a WhatsApp voice note, but it comes down onto a Panasonic answer machine. Let's go to Paul in Leeds. Oh, thanks, man. Where's my other bottle of wine as well? There's another one out there. Yeah. Sorry, Paul. Yeah, Paul, what's up, man?
Yeah, mate, how are you doing? All right, lovely.
I've got this. James Wales, give me this. Look at this. And Lady W. Anyway, if you're on the radio, you won't see that, so a bottle of wine. What is it, Paul?
Yeah, I'm just ringing you up about what's happening in Germany tonight with all that sort of nonsense.
Yeah. Well, 2 people so far officially killed, 60 people injured, 15 seriously, and a suspect who's been arrested from the car, a Saudi Arabian doctor in his 50s who's lived in Germany since 2006. So that's all we know so far.
Yeah, that's all we that's all we know. But the problem that I've got is that I've got 2 young daughters.
Yeah.
And I want to go to these Christmas markets, but I'm a 6'1" guy.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of a lot, but I'm not.
Well, it's not going to help you against a car, is it? And we're all very worried. And you're seeing the machine gun police, you know, walking around, and they say, "Don't worry, there's nothing to worry about." But I don't remember that happening 30 years ago.
Honestly, mate. I'm like you say, I'm 42 now. This sort of stuff has never happened in up to when I got to about 35. And
it's like the boiling frog that doesn't notice the water's boiling. It's happening so slowly. Suddenly you find you're there.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And it's I really worry. I've got 2 daughters, 11 and 8, and I'm seriously worried about the future.
And what would you do? Are you thinking of leaving the country because of that? Because you'd like to bring them up somewhere else,
We've thought about it for a while, mate. And I mean, I were all for Brexit until I want to move to Spain, and then I'm not all for Brexit because of all the loopholes you've got to go through.
Well, we didn't have a Brexit, did we? But I mean, where would you go? You're saying Spain?
Well,
Isn't it got it worse there? I mean, isn't it worse there than here?
Well, I don't think it's worse than here, mate. I mean, I don't know where you live, but where I live around Leeds, luckily I'm in East Leeds, which isn't too bad. But there's a lot of places around Leeds now where it's honestly, whether you believe it or not, whether the politicians believe it or not, they're no-go areas.
Well, it's dangerous not just because, it's dangerous just because of general crime. I was out with Adam from the show in Leicester Square and someone tried to mug us with a pair of scissors. But we did actually, sort of intimidated him away. But he was walking around, he had a pair of scissors, so it's basically a knife, a bladed article, trying to get money off us, which unsuccessfully. So it's dangerous anyway because our police and authorities are letting us down.
100%, mate. And the thing is, I grew up in a quite affluent area, which when I was growing up, there were nothing like it. And now there's people walking around with knives, there's people stabbing people.
Yeah, and you don't see police. Like I thought, where's the police? This was Leicester Square. You used to see police. There weren't any around. It's lawless around there at night.
Honestly, and I was just thinking seriously, asking you the question. What do you think is going to happen in 5 years' time if it carries on as it is?
Well, exactly. Well, there's an election in for who did you vote for in the election?
To be honest with you, mate, this might sound ridiculous because I'm 42. I've never voted because I can't seem to put my finger on anyone. They're all bullshitters. This time, the first time I've ever voted, I voted Reform. I didn't think I'd
Well, they've done all right, don't you agree with what Reform are going on? I mean, they're Lee Anderson, Farage and the other guy who's leading the charge looking for the figures. They are doing something. They are actually the opposition rather than Badenoch. But I agree, it's a uniparty, isn't it, the Tories and Labour? They're just the same...
Well, the thing is, mate, whether I agree 100% with Reform or not, the two main parties are not doing what we've asked them to do.
Well, exactly so. It does seem that you would vote Reform. Is that what you would let next time?
Mate, yeah. 100%. I mean, like, you know, the thing with the pensioners, fuel allowance, with all, you know,
farmers,
all the farmers,
useless, aren't they? All of them,
the women and all that, and you know, the thing is as well, a lot of people like me, a normal working class white man, I'm not allowed to say anything about.
No, you certainly are not, and you're not allowed to apply for courses, and obviously you're worried for your kids. Thanks, Paul, for calling in 03444 991,000. Let's go to Aaron in Milton Keynes.
Good evening, Nash. Good evening, James.
Morning. Hi.
I'm only going to be quick, but I want to wish you gentlemen a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the both of you.
Thank you, James. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Shut up, Ash. Sorry, all right, man. Yeah.
If there's any British broadcaster on talkTV who deserves to be knighted by the King, James Well deserves.
Shut up, Ash.
He got an MBE. That's enough, isn't it?
Shut up, Ash.
He's back. But he got an MBE. You think he should get more? I mean, that is the lowest of all honours. Don't you think that's sufficient for James?
Well, as I said, James Well deserves to be knighted by the King for...
Well, what's his name? Lindsay Hoyle, who spent quarter... He's got a knighthood. Actually, the freedom... there's word I might get something. The Freedom of Speech Union guy, he's just been made a lord, you know, the head of it, Toby Young, which is, I think, a great thing. That was done by Badenoch. Sadiq Khan, apparently, is getting a knighthood. And also... the woman who basically, you know, Starmer, what's her name? Val. Anyway, the woman who fixed it for Starmer not to get done at that party in Durham and get Boris done, and her son got a job as an MP. She's been knighted as well. So, Sue Gray. So, there you go.
Yeah. Well, you gentlemen enjoy yourselves and you have a good night.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah.
Shut up, Ash.
So, what are we doing now? Taking a little breaky? A breaky back in 2 minutes. What a great show.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile, the home of common sense. This is Talk.
Right, it's just me. James Wells has gone, so we won't be paying him the full amount, just the 2/3. But anyway, give us a ring, 0344 499 1000, and leave us a voice message on the answer machine on WhatsApp at the same number, 0344, there it is, 499 1000, because then you come out in quality and you just make your point, and then you don't have to, you know, if you're a bit, you know, intimidated. But anyway, let's speak to Marty in Ayrshire. Marty.
Yo, straight. Right. Merry Christmas, by the way.
Thanks, and you, man.
James.
Thank you.
A couple of points.
Shut up, Ash.
Thanks, James.
Can I take my half to that woman in France that stood up for everything?
Oh yeah, that horrendous case where her husband was drugging her and
absolutely horrible, right? And it's ridiculous. Second point is no, it was terrible, and but hey, half to the women, half to it, right? Second point is well, obviously, ridiculous what happened tonight in Germany.
Well, it's horrendous, isn't it? What's happening?
Oh, shocking.
Yeah. Well, it's not that I mean, it is shocking, but it's not that surprising, is it? We don't know what it is yet, but we hear about these attacks quite a lot for various reasons.
Totally. But,
and Germany were on alert for these sort of...
This obviously was, I don't know where it's right, but it was the Dutch politician said, thanks, Angela Merkel, right?
Well, Angela Merkel just opened the door and said, anyone who wants to come here, and then obviously they have access to the EU, and then you just have to get a boat and you're here. So, it's a terrible idea that she had, and she realises that now, and, you know, politics is shifting to the right in Germany and lots of other places. And they want to shut down Schengen now, the Germans who invented the EU.
Well, he's obviously going to be said, he's far right, but politicians do need to actually take... they need to take responsibility for what they've done at some point.
Yeah.
Do you not think so? No.
I just missed. What was that last thing you said? What?
There's got to be they actually go away with all the pensions, right? They actually listen to this, and there's no responsibility. But eventually, politicians need to actually take responsibility for that.
Well, of course I do. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, that was Russ Abbott there. And now Kimberly's rang on the answer machine. Press play on the Panasonic.
Hi, James and Ash. This is Kim from California, and I just wanted to wish you two a very Merry Christmas, very Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And I hope that everything is going well. And Ash, you just keep looking better and better.
Thanks,
but that's just in my fantasy. So go ahead and have a happy, happy Christmas. Thank you for all your entertainment. Bye-bye.
Bye, Kimberly. That's Kimberly. She's in California. But anyway, it's time to get serious and spiritual, and we're going to get Ken on in London. Ken, hallelujah. Good morning. It's just me and you. This has never happened before, apart from when we met in Westminster and we had a little hug, didn't we? We hugged.
We did. Yeah, you're a precious soul. I've told you many times that the Messiah died for you. But listen, Ash, I would like to talk about something of extreme seriousness at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Right now, Putin, the Russian madman, is openly threatening to use tactical nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
He's now challenged America to a technical weapons. I don't even know what word you could use to do it, but it's madness. They're going to test their weapons against one another, he suggests. North Korea is threatening to use nuclear weapons against South Korea. China is threatening to invade Taiwan. Europe is now increasing their weapons and preparing for war with Russia.
Yeah.
Now, I've been talking to you for about 24 years, approximately, you and James.
Yeah, man. I remember when you were you were originally Ken in Lincoln, then you were Ken in the Highlands, then you were Ken in London, and there's, on the screen, there is Ken. We're just showing a clip of you behind Mick Lynch, calling him the Antichrist and doing a very good job at it. And I think, Mick Grinch, and I think you might be right, and it was brilliant. But anyway, carry on, Ken, sorry.
But anyway, Ash... I warned you right 24 years ago. There's others warning, not only me, but we are headed for the most time of greatest warfare and destruction in human history.
Well, everything you said has come to pass as it is in the Bible. I remember you talking about Putin would be this sort of thing, and then we'll have a false Messiah, won't we, is the next thing.
And the warning about Islam would be the greatest threat to, one of the greatest threats to peace.
And Armageddon, by the way, is Megiddo, and that's just under Lebanon, and there was just fighting in Armageddon, so it's all coming to pass, Ken. So aren't you happy with that?
I'm very happy with that, but I'm not happy about the people who go to hell. Neither is God. He's not happy about people going to hell. But here's a thought for you, Ash.
Yes.
If for 24 years I had been forecasting the winner of the Grand National for 24 years consistently, when the next Grand National comes along and it's my turn to forecast the winner, thousands and thousands would listen to my thoughts and they would put money in the horse because I proved my accuracy over 24 years.
Well, hold on. How often are you right?
It's not me that's right. It's God that's right.
Well, all right, but how many times has God been right in the 24 predictions?
He's always right.
What, are you saying he's predicted all the last 24 Grand National winners?
No, come on now, Ash. Come on now.
You just said he did.
Listen, God has predicted what's coming ahead. He knows exactly what's coming. And 27% of the Bible is predictive text, prophetic text, which is actually a miracle. It's history in advance. God has given us a warning what's coming. And the Lamb of God, Messiah, who is the gentle, loving Jesus who died for every sinner, the Bible says in Revelation chapter 6, the world is going to experience the wrath of the Lamb. I would encourage everyone tonight to read Revelation chapter 6.
Has that got next year's national winner in it?
1/4 of the world, Ash, is going to die under this coming judgment, a sealed judgment.
Well, that's going to happen then, isn't it? There's nothing you can do, and sort of it's hallelujah, because that means it's all coming to pass.
But it's not hallelujah for you, Ash. At this moment, you don't believe in the Son of God, and you're on the highway to hell.
Yeah, but I've still got time, haven't I?
No, you don't know you've got time, man. You don't know.
You don't know, do you? I mean, that's...
Now, Ash, just before you cut me off, I appreciate you allowing me to speak. I love you and James Whale. I've no judgment upon the both of you. I'm a sinner.
You called me the Antichrist last week, so if that's not judgment, I don't know what is.
You're the Antichrist. I said you've got the spirit of Antichrist, the same as Mick Lynch.
You sound like Keir Starmer now. You're fledging around trying to make excuses.
Keir Starmer is the most dangerous Prime Minister in the history of this country. He boasts he's an atheist. He boasts he's an atheist.
Well, I thought he was Jewish or I mean, he wants Friday nights off, doesn't he? So what's all that about?
But listen, Ash, you're getting serious here, man. You need to get serious about this.
You've got to smile, haven't you? I mean, do you know what I mean? Have you got a song, a Christmas song for us?
Listen, Ash, eternity lies ahead for you and I and every listener. You can all laugh and joke. One day we're all going to die. Then what? And this Christmas, my message at Christmas is, don't forget that Jesus loves us so much he died for our sins and rose from the dead that you could be forgiven, Ash, by the Messiah of Israel. Hallelujah.
Well, think about
it's time for you to waken up, Ash.
Thank you,
everybody who's listening.
Have you got a song? Can you sing us a Christmas song, Ken?
I'll sing you a song about Jesus.
And at the end, tell us the national winner for next year.
I'll give you a Christmas song.
Go on then.
Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and adore him, born the King of Israel. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord.
And next year's winner? Next year's winner? Not going to
Next year's winner?
Yeah, who is it?
Ash, next year, Ash, you could be in the fires of hell, my friend.
Well, never mind that. Who's the national winner?
Ash. Listen, don't you go to hell. He loves you.
I'll try not to. He
loves you, Ash. He died for you, man. Waking up, James Whale.
Never mind. Who's winning the national? John McCrick's not around anymore. He'll be in heaven. So who's going to win the next one?
Ash, I don't know who's going to win that.
Ask God. Tell me next time.
Listen, I've got another song for you.
All right. Always on a roll.
You ready?
I'm ready, bracing myself. Away you go.
In the name of Jesus. Oh, I love this one. In the name of Jesus.
I found this rousing.
The victory. Oh, in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Demons will have to flee. and we stand in the name of Jesus. Tell me who can stand before in that mighty name of Jesus. Hallelujah. We have the victory.
And repeat. Thanks, Ken. Nice one, man. Right.
Christmas number one.
That is after Lonely this Christmas, Freezing this Christmas. Right, let's go to Carol. Carol, you've already been on, haven't you, Carol?
I have.
Well, we'll let you on because it's
insulted by your partner at the end of the day. But we'll leave it at Lee. You know, like with that. And then I've been watching most of the programme yet again. And that is what the problem is religion.
Yeah, but imagine no religion. I mean, it's easy if you try, but, you know, no hell below us, above us, only the sky.
I'm a religious person.
All right, imagine no possessions.
I have my own mind. I have. That is what the problem is. I have my own mind. You know, like
that's no good in religion. You can't do that in religion. You've either got to follow it.
Of course you can.
You've got to follow the manual.
You can't have your own mind in the religion.
I know, Ken
of course you have.
Ken wouldn't
say that. Of course you have. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. And the things that are causing in this country, you know, like at the end of the day, and it's been broadened, and with the grace of God, what's happened to Germany, it's no laughing stock. You know, like I've laughed most of the time all night with you.
Well, there's serious stuff going on, you know what I mean? It's obviously not a laughing thing.
Of course it is. Of course it is, and it ain't. You know, like at the end of the day, and somebody needs to tell people in this country, you can have that freedom with your religion, but you can't put it on anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's live and let live in this country, but it's not going that way at the moment, is it?
No, because why are we allowing it?
Because we're liberal cowards. We're not like, you know, we were. We've become, over the years, no wars. We've become very, let's be all friendly and nice, and people take advantage of it.
Exactly. Soft. So how do we close it down? And it's not just this country.
Well, no, it's going on everywhere.
The whole of...
But things are changing. Trump's got in. It's changed. A lot of the other parties have gone into Poland because people have realised they're skint, first of all. Second of all, they've got terrible lives and they're realising it's because of all this liberal, you know, all this liberal cowardice.
You know, like, no disrespect. I don't know how to behave, how to talk or whatever. But there's only a certain people, right, that are bringing this criterion, this law.
It's a minority leading the majority, isn't it? Yeah, Carol.
A very small party of people that are bringing it to it. And with the grace of God, you know, like, we have to sort it out. And where we have to sort it out, I came back when I was speaking hours ago when I was watching the programme, which is human rights. Yeah. And human rights had to sort that out.
Well, that's turned around.
At the end of the day, can I just finish? At the end of the day, human rights have been way over the whole of Europe, but it's not updated. It needs to be updated, human rights.
For the modern... Yeah, well, it needs to go back to what it was originally for. But thanks, Carol. Let's go to Dave in Newcastle. Hi, Eamon.
Hi, Ash.
Dave.
Yeah, hi, Ash. You okay, mate?
Yeah, James has gone, like. It's a much better show, isn't it?
Shut up, Ash.
Oh, no, he's still there. Shh.
I know he's not there, like.
So what's going on, Dave, in Newcastle? I'm a quarter Geordie, so I can say why and it's not cultural appropriation.
How are you a quarter Geordie?
My grandma Estelle, she grew up there, and actually when they extended the Newcastle United ground, it went into her garden. Really? This was like 100 years ago, though, you know what I mean? She moved to Birmingham back in about the 30s.
So your granny was
gone up in the world.
100 years ago?
She was in a Geordie, yeah. She was born in Newcastle. I've got a lot of Newcastle family on my father's side.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's great. No. Now, what I was going to say was, what I'd heard the other week was how they get shot at this government, Eustace government, by the way, was the king could disband the government.
Well, last time that happened, it was Charles I. He had his head chopped off, so he doesn't want to have that done, does he?
Well, it would be good, like, but...
Well, I mean, it'd be historical, but I don't think it'd be good, especially not for him.
No, it would be good for the country, though.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, you can't really do that, can you? You can't, it's sort of like a revolution and then we'll go to the king. I mean, it is good to have a royal family because you don't normally get fascist governments where there are royal families because it's a sort of release valve, and where they have lost it, like in Germany, they had the Kaiser, but then he went in. So there is a reason and a constitutional reason. We're a constitutional democracy, aren't we, so...
But could the king do that, though?
I doubt it. He's not very good at stuff, is he? I mean, he is good at some things, but he builds villages and stuff and talks about architecture. But running the whole country, the royal family haven't done that for years.
Yeah, but would he be able to disband the government?
No, I don't. Legally, it's constitutionally impossible because of what happened with Charles I and then the Restoration, I think.
Well, I'm not very good at history, to be honest with you.
I got O-level history, yeah. Got O-level. I got an A in O-level history for some reason. All the SWATs there, I was like the thick kid, and suddenly they didn't get an A and I did. That was brilliant. Anyway, Dave, I've got to go and take a little breaky. Give us a ring, last few calls, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on the app, on your mobile, the home of common sense. This is Talk.
It's Ash. James Wales has gone because he's got a bit of the lurgy. Nothing wrong, seriously. It was just he's got a bit of the flu. And don't forget, you can see me and James Wales. It's James Wales and Lady W, and they've invited me around the house. And, it's going to be on the 25th at 1 p.m. But don't take my word for it. Have a look at this.
Listen up, lend me your ears. It's the holly and the ivy time of year. It's nice and peaceful in the studio till a bunch of carol singers try to get on the show. I say, hey, merry gentlemen, cut the ding-dong and I'll teach you the words of a different tongue. On Boxing Day, have the relatives round, have a family fight, the ghosts around. I won't have a stocking or a Christmas box, I won't have a crib with an ass and an ox. I'm not gonna drink from your wassailing cup. Knock it off, pack it in and wrap it up. Wrap it up for Christmas, Johnny with the fun. Whalers on the radio.
That's James Whale Unleashed on Christmas Day. So join us at 1 p.m. and then there'll be a reiteration of it at 10 p.m. and loads of other programmes, amazing programmes throughout the day and over the Christmas period, and other presenters who, new ones and older ones, and voices from the past and the future. Kevin in Hull, you're on Talk. Kev.
Hello.
All right, man. What's up?
Hey, mate.
All right, man.
Yeah, it was just a basic thing about religion.
Yeah.
Nothing heavy.
Nothing hairy? Yeah.
No, nothing heavy at all.
Excellent.
All I was trying to say was, basically, we all go to the same place, no matter what religion.
Well, no, Ken says we go to hell if we don't accept Jesus.
Well, the thing is, what I was trying to say, if you listen to me, is basically heaven is the same place. So if you want to meet Jesus, you'll meet them. If you want to meet the mighty whatever of the Jewish faith, all I'm saying is.
So there's a Jewish section in heaven and a Christian there's different sections.
Yeah, well, all I was trying to say, heaven is the same place. Once we pass over, it's the same place.
How do you know all this?
I don't want to divulge that at the moment.
No, very sensible.
Okay. I know I won't get on the programme tonight.
Well, no, you're on it, like, Kev.
Okay.
That's why you're talking to me. I don't get the calls.
All I'm trying to say is, basically, if all the religions know we go to the same place, there'd be no war.
But will it be like at football? Will you have your own sections? Because otherwise, there might be scuffles and that.
Football is like gladiators.
It's like a religion, isn't it, as well, in a way?
Yeah, I suppose in a way.
It's a bit like heaven sometimes, and it can be hell.
At the end of the day, it's entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, some people say it's more important than that.
Well, I understand that, but I was just trying to put over a point, but unfortunately, I'll be out of time.
All right, well, thanks, Kev. He's cut himself off. Nice one, Kev. Let's go to Helen, who's a new caller. We're in Scotland. You can't just say Scotland.
Yes, I'm in Scotland.
Where in Scotland?
I'm in Kilmarnockshire.
Kilmarnockshire?
Yes, I'm in Kilmarnockshire.
Kilmarnockshire.
And I'm worried about all these immigrants that are driving about in their cars, in their 07, 05, whatever. And have they got insurance? Because we've got to produce our no claims bonus. So how do they produce their no claims bonus?
Well, you have your no claims bonus. You have your first year, you don't get it, do you? In your second year, you build it up, don't you? And you get a no claims bonus protector.
Yeah. So how do they come into the country?
Well, you wouldn't get your first insurance, you wouldn't get a good no claims bonus. You've got to build up a driving history.
Yeah, but they come in, and how do they pay for their insurance?
Well, some people do work very hard. Some immigrants, some don't. Some take the mick, and some actually work very hard.
I know they do.
And some break the law, like people who aren't immigrants. It's all.
And then they do the Just Eat.
Just Eat, yeah. Did somebody say Just Eat?
They do all that.
Yeah.
Ken, what I mean? They do.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, people use other people's IDs for Just Eat. I mean, the driving licence, I think you should put your fingerprint on when you take the test, because that would stop it, or have a picture taken. Because
if that was me or you, we've got to produce no claims.
That's right, yeah.
And we're working hard, and they get to do it.
Well, thanks, Helen. I mean, yeah, in a way, you do have to build up a driving record for that. Anyway, let's. We're gonna get another caller on. Got no. What? Let's have. This is number 1 in the download iTunes chart. The BBC are refusing to play it because they're political activists. But you heard it on this show first, and the rest of the shows are running with it on other networks. And this is the Christmas Network iTunes number 1. hit the video. Press play on the video. Download it now. Let's get it even to better than number one. Right, Damien in Rochdale's probably going to be our last caller. What's up, Damien? Good morning. You're on talk.
How you doing?
All right, man.
How you doing? Yeah.
What's going on, Damo?
It's all right, mate. I'm doing well, but no, I think like with people jumping on about different religions, it's to be on end all. I think if everyone just takes a step back and just have a good Christmas, everybody. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's not all about religion. It's tribal. It's humans will